Chapter 473 Worshipper of the Blood Moon Sect. 3. Such a terrifying strength of the body. Normal people would definitely be crushed into pieces under such force. Yi Qingtang stared at the man with silver hair in the hole. Yi Qingtang was very sure that the guy had passed away. Though she was still curious, she did not want to be involved in the trouble and decided to leave. However, when she was about to turn away, her sight landed on the red space ring on the man's finger. Yi Qingtang jumped into the hole immediately and walked towards the man. Since you have passed away, the things inside the space ring will be useless for you. How about I keep them for you? I will definitely bury your body nicely in return. Yi Qingtang smiled and said, You did not object. Then can I assume that you agreed? Thank you so much. Yi Qingtang murmured to herself. She then squatted down and was about to take away his space ring. However, pow! The man who had no breath or movement at all suddenly held Yi Qingtang's hand. Yi Qingtang used all her strength trying to escape. However, to her surprise, the man's palm was like a huge mountain that restrained her. No matter how she struggled, she could not pull her hand away. You are not dead? Then it's a misunderstanding. I thought that you had passed away so. If I offended you in any way, please understand, Yi Qingtang explained immediately. Yi Qingtang then looked at the man again. The man's eyes were closed, but there was a breath coming out of his body. He is still in a coma? Yi Qingtang sighed as she thought that the man was awake and angry with her action. Yi Qingtang then realized that she worried too much. The handsome man with silver hair did not seem to revive. Yi Qingtang sized up the man as he was still in a coma. The person did not die under such force that could crush a hole on the ground. He did not even have any injuries on his body. Yi Qingtang was astonished. The man's strength was too strong to imagine. Yi Qingtang did not intend to take his space ring anymore since the man did not die. Yi Qingtang liked to take things from her enemies as she won them over. However, she would never target anything from a stranger even if they were extremely rare and precious. She would never take anything that did not belong to her. Just now, Yi Qingtang thought that the guy had passed away and guessed that there were treasures inside her space ring. She did not want the treasures to be wasted, and that was why she had the intention to take them over. Yi Qingtang could only sigh as she could not escape from the man's grip, though he was still in a coma. Yi Qingtang dragged the man out of the hole. Suddenly, the hand that was holding Yi Qingtang released her. Yi Qingtang took a few steps back after her hand was freed. We are just strangers. So I shall leave now. Yi Qingtang turned and decided to walk away. Chapter 474 Older Sister. 1. She returned after taking a few steps. The man was extremely weak now, and any cultivator could kill him easily. Yi Qingtang contemplated for a while and thought that it was not very appropriate to just leave. Anyway, it was my fault to have the intention of taking away your space ring. As compensation, I will guard you until you wake up. Yi Qingtang sat down beside the man. Yi Qingtang then took out some healing medicine from her space ring that she brought from the sect. She then poured them into the man's mouth. Yi Qingtang took some clean water and fed him as she saw that the man's mouth was dry. Yi Qingtang took care of the man for about 2 days. There was finally some color on his face. The blood moon at the glabella was more obvious. Yi Qingtang was too exhausted and decided to take a nap. However, the nap lasted for a couple of hours. On the morning of the 3rd day, Yi Qingtang opened her eyes slowly. However, her eyes met with a pair of eyes that were so indifferent and cold. The man with silver hair woke up when she was sleeping. He stared at Yi Qingtang. You saved me, the man said with a cold voice before Yi Qingtang could speak. Yes. I saw that you fell from the sky. I was curious and noticed that you were not dead, so Yi Qingtang hid the part that she was interested in his space ring naturally. The man sized up her for a while until she felt nervous from the stare. Thank you, Wuxia World. Sight, you're welcome. But you woke up really fast. Yi Qingtang got up and was still surprised. His injury was so severe that none of his organs were functioning. However, he only took 3 days to revive. Yes, the man answered coldly. How did you fall from the sky? Yi Qingtang asked the question that had bothered her for a few days. There was a strange luster sparkling from the blood moon as he heard the question. If you're not willing to say, then it's okay. Yi Qingtang knew that the question was slightly offensive. It's okay. I was fleeing from murder, the man said in a monotone. Yi Qingtang was very sensitive towards the words, flee from murder. She had fled from murder for 300 years in her previous life. Even when she reached the paragon level, there were still countless of people trying to kill her every day. She lived every day in fear, and the feeling was definitely not pleasant. Who was trying to kill you? Yi Qingtang probed. Did the man also offend the super sex in the formidable Heavens dynasty? She observed the man and could not figure out his martial ability. Based on his horrifying body strength, it was difficult for normal sex to kill him. So, maybe it was the super sections. The ultimate elder. Who? Yi Qingtang was shocked and thought that she heard the name wrong. The ultimate elder. The man was expressionless and repeated himself. The ultimate elder. Yi Qingtang laughed when she was sure that she heard the name correctly. The ultimate elder had not appeared for many years. No one even knows whether he is dead or alive. How could he chase after you? You think that you are the Blood Moon Sect Lord? Yes, the man said indifferently. Who are your? Yi Qingtang thought that she heard the wrong thing again. Wuxia World. Said. Chapter 475 Older Sister, 2. You are the Lord of the Blood Moon Sect? Then I say I'm the Pagoda Sword Master. Do you believe me? Yi Qingtang tried not to laugh. No. The man still replied coldly. Yi Qingtang felt a headache as she stared at the imitated blood moon at the man's glabella. How obsessed was the man towards the Blood Moon Sect? He could choose to pretend to be anyone, but he had to call himself the Supreme Blood Moon Sect Lord. Wuxia World D. Sight. Though Yi Qingtang had never met the real Blood Moon Lord, she had seen the blood moon on the Blood Moon Sect Elder's glabella. Obviously, it was different from the one at the man's glabella. When the ability of a cultivator had reached a certain level, one would be able to freeze their appearance and remain in their youth forever. However, during the peak period, the Blood Moon Lord was as famous as the Pagoda Sword Master and the Ultimate Elder. Rumors said that they were dead for at least 1,000 years. No wonder someone tried to chase and kill you. Yi Qingtang mocked him. It was possible that his lie was too extreme and that offended the super sections. If Yi Qingtang also claimed that she was the Blood Moon Lord to everyone she met, people would definitely chase after her and try to murder her. The man with silver hair did not want to argue with Yi Qingtang. You saved me. What do you want in return? What do I want? Yi Qingtang was puzzled. Something in return. I want 100 superior grade spirit stones. Do you have them? Yi Qingtang smiled. Not now. The man thought for a while and then shook his head. Then, how are you going to pay me back? Yi Qingtang asked. I will accept you as my disciple, the man with silver hair said. I think that's not necessary. Yi Qingtang twitched her mouth. Such a young man also wanted to be her master. That was not paying back but taking advantage of her. Are you too used to lying? I become your disciple? Do you really think that you are the Blood Moon Lord? Yi Qingtang was trying to make fun of him. How about this? Since you were also fleeing from murder and so did I, shall we become sworn brothers? Yi Qingtang smiled and said, Brothers? The man frowned as he had never imagined that someone dared to pledge brotherhood with him. I was taking care of you for the past few days. So, I'm the older sister, and you will be the younger brother. Yi Qingtang's face was extremely serious. It seemed that he had not agreed to pledge brotherhood with the girl. What? Just now you still said that you want to pay me back. Since you don't have 100 superior grade spirit stones and you're not willing to pledge, just leave. I don't want to see you anymore. Yi Qingtang waved her hand. Pledge, the man said. Wuxia World. Sight good. Yi Qingtang nodded her head. Soon, the pledging process was completed, and Yi Qingtang wanted to ask about the details of the man. Take it. The man took out a red token from his space ring and threw it to Yi Qingtang. His hand gently touched her forehead. The moment his palm touched her skin, a blood moon sparkled at her glabella. Yi Qingtang did not notice anything as she was holding the token and trying to figure out what that was for. "Brother, what is this?" However, there was no reply. When Yi Qingtang lifted her head and glanced around, her sworn brother had long disappeared. "Brother, you haven't told me your real identity." Yi Qingtang gritted her teeth. If she knew that her brother was so not reliable, she would not even take the pledge. She saved him and even took care of him for 3 days. She eventually ended up with a token of no use. Chapter 476 Ning Luo 1. Yi Qingtang shook her head. She originally wanted to throw this unknown token away but ultimately placed it in her space ring to return to him when she met him next time. Then, Yi Qingtang got onto her horse and left the area. It had already been near half a month since Xianling sect headed for Drifting Cloud Island, and it had been days since Elder Mo brought Fu Lingtian back to the sect, though it was still unknown whether the Yunxiao sect spy in Xianling sect was found. Yi Qingtang rode to Xianling sect at top speed. Deep down, Yi Qingtang did not wish for Xianling sect to find out the truth, as Yunxiao sect would definitely not leave the matter at that. At that instant, Yi Qingtang was rather frustrated. If only she killed Fu Lingtian immediately back when he barged into her room on Drifting Cloud Island, then, perhaps, the subsequent events would not happen. However, Yi Qingtang did not think that Elder Mo was guarding in the area because of her breakthrough and would rush in immediately, catching Fu Lingtian and causing her to not have the chance to kill him. Wuxia World. Yi Qingtang was deep in thought at that moment. If Xianling sect had not been able to find the spy, it may be a good idea for her to kill Fu Lingtian without anyone knowing when she returned to the sect. However, if Xianling sect already discovered the spy hiding in the sect. At that thought, Yi Qingtang frowned, and an inauspicious feeling filled her heart. Although Xianling sect was one of the 3 sects of Formidable Heavens dynasty and had a pretty good background, it was too weak when compared to super sects like Yunxiao sect. If Yunxiao sect had the heart to exterminate Xianling sect, it was, in actuality, not difficult. The happenings in her previous life had already proven this point. As Yi Qingtang pondered, there were fighting and shouting sounds ahead, and one of the voices seemed to be familiar to Yi Qingtang. Qin Huan. Yi Qingtang was slightly surprised. If that voice did not belong to Qin Huan, who else could it be? Immediately, Yi Qingtang raced forward. About 200 meters away, several Xianling sect disciples surrounded a young man. The young man's lips curled as he glimpsed across the Xianling sect disciples nonchalantly. "How daring of you all to encircle me!" The young man sneered. "PFT." Qin Huan spat immediately. He was just accepted into the inner sect as an exception, as an inner sect elder regarded him highly, yet he encountered such an incident the moment he entered the inner sect. Before Fu Lingtian was interrogated properly, he was killed by Ning Luo. "Ning Luo, you betrayer! Fu Lingtian is a serious offender, but you infiltrated in the night and killed him." "Oh!" Ning Luo snickered coldly. "Since Fu Lingtian committed a serious offense, is there anything wrong for me to kill him?" Qin Huan scoffed coldly. He was not dumb either. "Ning Luo, that's simply a fallacious argument. That Fu Lingtian knows the spy in Xianling sect, but you sneaked into the Hall of Justice and killed him. It clearly is because you have a guilty conscience and thus silenced him before fleeing the sect. This is absconding to avoid punishment. Qin Huan, you have just entered the inner sect but don't know anything about seniority. How dare you talk to your senior brother like this?" Ning Luo laughed. "Senior brother Ning Luo, it's better to return to the sect with us and explain this matter clearly." Zhu Chang'e, who was beside Qin Huan, frowned tightly as he wielded a sword in his hand. Wuxia World. Ning Luo was the disciple that Elder Lin was the proudest of, while Zhu Chang'e was also Elder Lin's disciple. They were originally extremely close senior and junior brothers, yet unexpectedly they had to fight each other today. Chapter 477 Ning Luo 2. Chang'e, you are my junior brother. Could it be that even you don't believe me? Ning Luo asked in surprise as he looked at Zhu Chang'e. Senior brother Ning Luo, it is not that I don't believe you, but it is true that you sneaked into the Hall of Justice yesterday night to kill Fu Lingtian, and you even fled the sect afterward. The sect master is extremely infuriated right now and has sent hundreds of inner sect disciples out to bring you back to the sect. It is difficult for me to defy a sect order. Please do not resist and return to the sect with us to explain this matter clearly, Senior Brother Ning. Zhu Changge did not wish to attack Ning Luo, whose skills were way above his. Moreover, they were disciples of the same master. However, sect orders could not be deft. If Ning Luo stubbornly resisted, he could only strike. Senior Brother Zhu, you don't need to talk any more crap with him. With things as such, can't you tell yet? This Ning Luo is the spy in Xianling sect that Fu Lingtian was talking about. Qin Huan said sternly. Wuxia World. Sight, that's right. Another inner sect disciple nodded. Junior Brother Qin Huan did not say anything wrong. Fu Lingtian knows that Ning Luo is the spy, and Ning Luo was afraid that Fu Lingtian would divulge his identity. Thus, he took the risk to infiltrate the Hall of Justice and silenced Fu Lingtian while the wardens were not prepared. Afterward, he was afraid that things would be revealed, so he fled Xianling sect. The other inner sect disciples arrived at the same conclusion after thinking through it carefully. Ning Luo, either you return to the sect with us or don't blame us for ignoring the sect ties and burying you here. Qin Huan shouted, enraged. At that moment, Ning Luo's lips tugged up into an icy cold smile. In his eyes, these few Xianling sect inner sect disciples were merely ants. You overestimated your capabilities. Immediately, Ning Luo raised a hand, and a frightening martial aura filled the air. The Xianling sect disciples, including Qin Huan and Zhu Changge, had astounded expressions and were in disbelief. Under Ning Luo's shocking martial oppression, the Xianling sect disciples broke out in cold sweat which fell like raindrops. Some even had difficulties breathing, and their faces were flushed. In at most a few breaths' time, blood seeped out from the corners of their lips while their complexions were ghastly white. Martial Qi. Level 3. First Heaven. Zhu Changge's heart raced wildly. Never had he expected Ning Luo to be hiding his cultivation realm and that his true skills had already entered Martial Qi Level 3. Martial Qi Level 3 was almost on par with the inner sect elders, and inner sect disciples like them simply would not be able to withstand the overbearing oppression of someone at Martial Qi Level 3. Boom! One of the disciples spat out a mouthful of blood, and no longer able to bear this frightening martial oppression, he was flung several hundred meters away. Yi Qingtang was still on the horse but noticed an unknown shadow crashing towards here. Another victim of natural and man-made calamities? Yi Qingtang grabbed that shadow almost instinctively. When Yi Qingtang returned to her senses, she realized that she was holding onto a person in her hands. Where did you fly here from? Yi Qingtang was curious. She had already witnessed 2 such cases over the past few days, and it was good that she was agile this time and reacted swiftly. Yi Qingtang? The Xianling sect disciple who was lifted by Yi Qingtang had a surprised expression. Fortunately, Yi Qingtang who appeared from nowhere caught him. Otherwise, he would definitely be severely injured. Chapter 478 Ning Luo 3. Very quickly, Yi Qingtang placed the disciple down and asked, "What happened?" This Xianling sect did not hide anything and recounted the incident in the fastest speed possible. Ning Luo. Yi Qingtang was in thought. From what he said, Ning Luo had already silenced Fu Lingtian yesterday night. Perhaps others were not aware, but Yi Qingtang was certain that Ning Luo was definitely a Yunshao sect disciple. Back then, Yi Qingtang learned from the Zhou brothers that Ning Luo, whom she had never seen before, wanted to take her life. Yi Qingtang was very certain that she had never met Ning Luo nor offended Ning Luo before. If Ning Luo, a Yunshao sect disciple, wanted to get rid of her in Xianling sect, it would definitely be Yu's orders, and everything made sense then. Go. Bring me there. Yi Qingtang looked at the Xianling sect disciple beside her. She had to kill Ning Luo in the shortest time possible. Then, Yunshao sect would not know that Xianling sect had found out their secret, and perhaps Xianling sect could be saved. Junior sister Yi, it's better for us to leave. The Xianling sect disciple was panic-stricken. Let's hurry back to the sect and get reinforcements. If the 2 of us go back now, it is simply courting death. Did you know that Ning Luo has been concealing his cultivation skills all this time in Xianling sect? He has already entered the first heaven of martial qi level 3. At this instant, fear was written all over the Xianling sect disciple's face. Wuxia Site Ning Luo had only used the martial aura, and the several inner sect disciples already could not fight back. Ning Luo's skills were definitely not weaker than the sect elders and had surpassed inner sect disciples like them. After hearing that, Yi Qingtang was completely sure that Ning Luo was a Yunshao sect disciple. Martial Qi level 3 was the level of a Yunshao sect inner sect disciple but that of an elder in Xianling sect. You're scared? Yi Qingtang frowned. Scared? Who said I'm scared? The Xianling sect disciple continued. I only wanted to return to the sect to call for reinforcement. Otherwise it will really be too late. The other senior and junior brothers would definitely die in his hands. Since that's the case, let's leave then. I am the reinforcement, Yi Qingtang said. Junior sister Yi, don't force yourself at this critical juncture. Did I not say it clearly enough? Ning Luo is at martial qi level 3. This Xianling sect disciple thought that he had not explained Ning Luo's skills clearly and was afraid that Yi Qingtang misunderstood. Long-winded. Yi Qingtang leaped up her horse, grabbed the Xianling sect disciple, and headed forward. In at most a few breaths' time, Yi Qingtang arrived at the forest. The moment she entered the forest, Yi Qingtang saw a few shadows being flung out. Yi Qingtang swiftly moved and caught those figures at the speed of lightning. Junior sister Yi? When the few people stood properly and saw that it was Yi Qingtang, Zhu Chang'e had a surprised expression. A few days ago, they searched for Yi Qingtang on Drifting Cloud Island for 2 days but still could not find her, and helplessly, Elder Qin could only return to the sect in the end. He never expected that Yi Qingtang, who had been missing for days, would actually appear here. Junior sister Yi, why are you here? Qin Huan had an astonished look. It was already hard for them to protect themselves against Ning Luo, yet where did Yi Qingtang appear from to join in? Was she not afraid of dying? Huh? Ning Luo looked at Yi Qingtang who was not far away, and his lips curled up. Earlier on, I still found it a pity that I could not complete senior sister Yi Yu's orders. Yi Qingtang, you're really thoughtful to send yourself here because you're afraid I would have regrets. Chapter 479 Head-to-Head Battle 1. Oh, is it? Yi Qingtang had no fear when facing Ning Luo. Yi Qingtang was about to strike a move, but a figure suddenly stood before her. Qin Huan did not know who the Yi Yu Ning Luo mentioned was but immediately blocked in front of Yi Qingtang when he saw that Ning Luo was about to harm Yi Qingtang. Junior sister Yi, escape now. I'll help to stall this betrayer. Yi Qingtang thought to herself. What the heck? Can you move away first? Yi Qingtang asked with a frown. Junior sister Yi, ignore us and leave. Ning Luo is too strong, and we can't hold him any longer even with combined forces. Qin Huan said hurriedly as he saw that Ning Luo wanted to kill Yi Qingtang. Move away. Yi Qingtang lifted her foot and kicked Qin Huan to a side. Her words fell on deaf ears, and she was forced to be violent. Junior sister Yi, what are you? Qin Huan was appalled. Why did she kick him for nothing? However, before Qin Huan finished his sentence, he noticed that Yi Qingtang had already disappeared with only a slight trace of her shadow at the original spot. Clink. Yi Qingtang drew the demonic blood sword out of its scabbard and slashed down firstly. Swoosh. Immediately, the demonic blood sword was like an enormous beast that wanted to devour Ning Luo. Ning Luo's smile froze, and a disbelieving shock twinkled in his eyes as he felt Yi Qingtang's aura from that one move. He still remembered that Yi Qingtang had just entered Xianling sect, and it had only been a while since she passed the inner sect assessment. The top inner sect disciples in Xianling sect were only at the first heaven of martial qi level 2, but Yi Qingtang was already at the third heaven of martial qi level 2. Ning Luo swept the shocked expression in his eyes away rapidly. No matter what miracle this girl encountered, she was, after all, at martial qi level 2, and it would only take a moment for him to kill her. However, Ning Luo realized he was wrong very quickly. He almost could not block the sword aura that Yi Qingtang casually slashed towards him. After being forced a few steps back by the demonic blood sword aura, Ning Luo finally used all his strength to expel the aura. You. Ning Luo narrowed his eyes at Yi Qingtang immediately, unable to comprehend what happened. This girl was only an ordinary inner sect disciple in Xianling sect. How could she possess such strong skills? Currently, even those inner sect elders of Xianling sect might not be Yi Qingtang's opponent. Qin Huan, Zhu Changge, and the other disciples were completely dumbfounded when they saw that Yi Qingtang pushed Ning Luo back a few steps with just one move. The inner sect disciple who brought Yi Qingtang to the scene, especially, was utterly astonished. He finally understood what Yi Qingtang meant when she said she was their savior earlier on. Third heaven of martial qi level 2. Am I dreaming? Qin Huan thought it was unrealistic as time passed. Yi Qingtang and he were both outer sect disciples of Xianling sect initially. Although Yi Qingtang displayed outstanding martial gifts and placed first in the outer sect, allowing her to enter the inner sect, it was still impossible for her to break through to the third heaven of martial qi level 3 in such a short time. Ning Luo looked at Yi Qingtang at that moment and scoffed. I was still wondering why senior sister Yi wanted me to kill an ant, like Xianling sect disciple. So you are not an ordinary person as well. However, it is not in vain that you could make senior sister Yi Yu to be concerned about you, given your status. Yi Yu was the holy lady of Yunshao sect and a possessor of a blue spirit root. Although the number of cultivators with green spirit roots on this mainland was not a small number, blue spirit roots were unusually rare, and there was hardly one out of 1,000,000 people. Chapter 480 Head-to-Head Battle, 2. Although a green spirit root was only one grade lower than a blue spirit root, there was a world of differences in this one grade. It was known by everyone that blue spirit roots could absorb the spirit energy in the world automatically. Even more so, a cultivator did not need to intentionally cultivate and only required time to reach the frightening scale of a yin-yang true lord. On the other hand, green spirit roots had higher understanding abilities and martial gifts, and they had a slightly higher chance of understanding the paragon skill. It was only like that. In reality, there was almost a twisted obsession with cultivators' spirit roots on this mainland. No one knew that spirit roots were only an aid for martial cultivation, and one could still become an unrivaled powerful figure even without a spirit root. Just like Blood Moon Sect's Holy Lord who was born thousands of years ago. Wuxia World. It was said that there was no spirit root in the body of Blood Moon Sect's Holy Lord, but despite so, he once killed the only powerful figure with an indigo spirit root on this mainland. Although there were also rumors that the Blood Moon Holy Lord had a violet spirit root, there was already no way of proving the authenticity of the rumors. Yi Qingtang, since you're here today, you shall be buried here, and this will make it easier for me to account to the sect. How about that? Ning Luo smiled. Yi Qingtang's skills were not bad, but Ning Luo was confident that he could kill her. If you have the ability to, Yi Qingtang said and curled her finger towards her at Ning Luo. Come and try. Ning Luo's smile froze on his face when he saw our Yi Qingtang completely belittle him. As a Yunshao sect inner sect disciple at martial qi level 3, he was, however, looked down upon by a Xianling sect inner sect disciple today. Do you really want to die? Ning Luo paused between his words as the murderous expression in his eyes intensified. That's why I told you to come and give it a try. Yi Qingtang sneered. As Yi Qingtang spoke, Ning Luo had vanished from where he was standing at instantly. In almost the blink of an eye, Ning Luo was already beside Yi Qingtang and rammed a palm towards Yi Qingtang without saying a word. The intense aura of martial qi level 3 escalated to the maximum in an instant. There was a cloud of dust as wild gusts of wind were stirred up, and crushed rocks on the ground floated in midair. Facing Ning Luo, a powerful opponent at martial qi level 3, Yi Qingtang brushed the belittling thoughts away and fought seriously. Die! Ning Luo shouted sternly and hit Yi Qingtang's crown with his palm that was filled with a destructive force. Yi Qingtang's expression was cold when she noticed it, and she lifted an arm to block it. Boom! A loud sound rang. The edges of their clothes danced in the air as both retreated a few steps. Shock emerged in Ning Luo's eyes immediately as he looked at Yi Qingtang strangely. As someone at martial chi level 3, he could easily crush an ordinary third heaven of martial chi level 2, but Yi Qingtang was extremely strange. The skills that she displayed were not those of an ordinary third heaven of martial chi level 2. Sush. In not a while, Ning Luo returned to his senses, and Yi Qingtang's demonic blood sword had already landed. Yi Qingtang's swordplay technique was unconventional and had unexpected winning moves. Moreover, the sword in her hand was extremely sturdy, and the demonic air around it was frightening. Ning Luo did not dare to fight head-on and could only dodge the blade for the moment as he retreated a few steps successively. However, Yi Qingtang refused to yield an inch and advanced on him tightly. She slashed the air with her sword, and the demonic air invaded the air within a radius of several miles. The surrounding trees were chopped by the invisible sword aura as sawdust drifted in the sky. At that very moment, Zhu Chang'e, Qin Huan, and the other Xianling sect disciples were completely dumbfounded as they watched Yi Qingtang. Chapter 481 The Paragon Skill 1. Ning Luo was at martial chi level 3, yet Yi Qingtang could be evenly matched with him. No, it was not a tied match either. The situation before them was clearly Yi Qingtang suppressing Ning Luo. Twisted, Qin Huan's eyes were widened. Regardless of whether it was Yi Qingtang or Ning Luo, both of them displayed a frightening combat ability which had exceedingly surpassed that of the inner sect disciples, even to the point that Qin Huan could not see the tracks of Yi Qingtang's and Ning Luo's attacks clearly. Boom! A loud explosion caused the Xianling sect disciples to return to their senses. At that instant, Ning Luo had already drawn out his sword, which clashed with Yi Qingtang's demonic blood sword. The sword aura swept across the surroundings instantly. The expressions of the Xianling sect disciples changed, and they immediately retreated backward. The amount of power from the battle between Yi Qingtang and Ning Luo was not a joke, and they could be chopped into pieces if they were just a little careless. If they innocently embroiled in this disaster, there was no one they could find to reason when they died without a trace. Ah, Yi Qingtang, you're really not an ordinary person. You're only at the third heaven of martial chi level 2 but could force me to draw my sword out. You're truly not simple. Ning Luo laughed as he looked at Yi Qingtang. However, Ning Luo had not finished his sentence yet when Yi Qingtang's left fist was hurriedly thrown on Ning Luo's face. Boom! Then Ning Luo's face was a little twisted, and he was flung several meters away from Yi Qingtang's punch. After steadying himself, Ning Luo wiped the blood from the corners of his lips as haze clouded his eyes. So full of bullshit. Yi Qingtang sneered coldly. Ha! Ning Luo guffawed suddenly. Forget it. Originally wanted to play with you, but since you don't know how to appreciate my kindness, there is no need for me to be merciful already. Really? Show me your best then. Yi Qingtang uttered. Since Yi Qingtang had already confirmed that Ning Luo was a Yunshao sect disciple, she made up her mind to kill him right there and not allow him to flee back to Yunshao. Otherwise, even she would not be able to stop history from repeating itself. You're so confident, Yi Qingtang. Could it be that you thought I've already done my best? Ning Luo asked. A bunch of nonsense. Yi Qingtang shouted coldly. Then, she leaped up and slashed the demonic blood sword down at Ning Luo, wanting to split Ning Luo into two. At that instant, Ning Luo was motionless in face of Yi Qingtang's mighty aura as he snickered. You're a mere red spirit root, and there's no way you can understand the Paragon skill. Just this fact itself has already sentenced you to death. As he spoke, his aura changed drastically. In the dense forest, the surrounding temperature dropped, and there seemed to even be snowflakes descending slowly. The Paragon skill? Zhu Chang'e, Qin Huan, and the other Xianling sect disciples who were hidden far away could not help but quiver in the extremely cold temperature. A hint of terror emerged in their eyes at that moment. Although it was said that there was a chance of understanding the Paragon skill from yellow spirit roots onward, many cultivators were nowhere close to understanding it even after an entire lifetime. Not mentioning cultivators with yellow spirit roots, even those with green spirit roots might not be able to understand the Paragon skill throughout their lives. For example, while Xianling sect had disciples with green spirit roots, Feng Moli was the only one who understood the Paragon skill. As the group panicked, frost formed all over the ground. Chapter 482 The Paragon Skill 2. At the same time, the demonic blood sword in Yi Qingtang's hand landed. Clink. The sound of clashing metal reverberated throughout. Ning Luo used his right arm to block it. Is that the Paragon Skill? A certain Xianling sect disciple exclaimed in alarm. A layer of frost covered Ning Luo as cold air enshrouded him. He used his right arm that was covered in frost to block in front of him, bearing the force of Yi Qingtang's sword. Yi Qingtang, this is the Paragon Skill, the frost. Ning Luo's lips curled up. As he spoke, several icicles were formed in the sky and shot down at Yi Qingtang from all angles, wanting to pierce through Yi Qingtang. Paragon Skill, the frost? Yi Qingtang scoffed. It's merely like that only. Then, Yi Qingtang swept her demonic blood sword across, breaking all the icicles. Now it's interesting. Ning Luo kept his sword and guided the frost to form an ice pike in his hand. The ice pike was charged towards Yi Qingtang immediately. Wuxia whirled. Sight Yi Qingtang was not frightened at all as she slashed it with her demonic blood sword. Boom. As the demonic blood sword clashed with the ice pike, Yi Qingtang felt an unbearable icy air which wanted to corrode her. The moment the demonic blood sword came into contact with the pike, ice covered the demonic blood sword so rapidly, wanting to seal Yi Qingtang altogether. Slightly shocked, Yi Qingtang immediately abandoned the demonic blood sword. As the demonic blood sword fell on the ground, the intensity of the freezing never slowed down as the ground within 10 meters from the spot was covered by ice at a speed visible to the naked eye. Your reaction isn't slow. A playful smile was hung on Ning Luo's face. If Yi Qingtang had not abandoned the demonic blood sword, she would definitely be sealed by the ice. Despair arose in the hearts of the Xianling sect disciples when they saw how scary Ning Luo's Paragon Skill was. Earlier, they actually innocently thought that they could capture Ning Luo and bring him back to Xianling sect. If they knew this from the start, they would never offend Ning Luo so brazenly no matter how courageous they were. What moves do you still have? Show them all, Yi Qingtang said without emotion as she looked at Ning Luo. With things as such, you still want to speak so mightily. Yi Qingtang, you're truly stubborn. Ning Luo laughed. An imprint was formed in his hands as he spoke. Instantly, snow floated in the sky, and an icy air rose from the ground. In just a moment, the coldness extended 100 meters out, and before Yi Qingtang knew what happened, her legs were already frozen. This is bad, Yi Qingtang frowned slightly. She originally wanted to crush the ice with her feet and escape from it, but she realized that the ice was as hard as steel. Feeling the disturbance of this biting chill, the primordial GI in her body was completely sealed and could not be used. Junior sister Yi. Zhu Chang'e shouted when he noticed what happened and flew forward, using his sword to slash the ice on Yi Qingtang's body. Bang! However, not only was this slash unable to damage the ice the slightest bit, Zhu Chang'e's hand was numbed instead, and he was flung several meters away from the impact. Junior sister Yi, don't be afraid. I'll save you. Qin Huan leaped forward as well and condensed all his might in his hands, hitting the ice that rapidly froze on Yi Qingtang's body. Ow! Similar to Zhu Chang'e, Qin Huan let out a miserable cry and was flung over 10 meters away by the force of the frozen ice. Chapter 483 The Paragon Skill 3. As Qin Huan landed, he stepped on the area that was sealed by the ice and fell hideously as he lost his balance. The ignorants are fearless. Ning Luo glanced down at the Xianling sect disciples arrogantly. Just based on you ants, you all thought that you could smash my Paragon Skill. What a joke. Ning Luo, you ungrateful betrayer. Release junior sister Yi now. Otherwise, you will definitely die once the sect elders arrive. Qin Huan hollered angrily as he pointed at Ning Luo. Xianling sect elders? Disdain flashed across Ning Luo's eyes. He had never respected those so-called elders in Xianling sect. Even if they rushed here in time, what could they do to him? Senior brother Ning Luo, it is never too late to repent. Release junior sister Yi now. Things are still reversible. Zhu Chang'e persuaded Ning Luo as he saw that Yi Qingtang was about to be completely sealed in the ice. However, Ning Luo waved his right arm and an icy air charged at them, causing them to collapse on the ground. You little ants, even killing you all would be dirtying my hands. Ning Luo returned his focus to Yi Qingtang. At that moment, the ice had already extended to Yi Qingtang's abdomen and had no signs of stopping. Yi Qingtang, I am also one who cherishes talents. It is indeed admirable that you can reach this stage, live up to this day, and even force me to use my paragon skill as a red spirit root. It is a pity though that I cannot defy senior sister Yi Yu's orders, and I can only take your life to account to the sect. But apart from this, if you still have any wishes, perhaps I will help you to accomplish them if I am able to, Ning Luo said as he looked at Yi Qingtang who was unable to move. Currently, the ice had already extended to Yi Qingtang's flawless neck, and it reached the crown of her head before she could say anything. At that very instant, Yi Qingtang turned into an ice statue with no exposed area for her to breathe. Junior Sister Yi. Read its latest chapters at Wuxiao World. The Xianling sect disciples were horrified at the sight. Although Yi Qingtang was already very powerful, Ning Luo was at martial qi level 3 and understood the paragon skill of the frost as a green spirit root. No matter how powerful Yi Qingtang was, how could she be Ning Luo's opponent? Ning Luo, you bastard! How dare you kill Junior Sister Yi? I must avenge Junior Sister Yi. Qin Huan shouted furiously and was ready to battle it out with Ning Luo. However, after taking only a few steps, Qin Huan slipped and fell on the ground once again. Zhu Chang'e and the other Xianling sect disciples darted forward and helped Qin Huan up hurriedly. Don't stop me. I must kill this bastard. Qin Huan screamed. Calm down. Zhu Chang'e grabbed Qin Huan's arm tightly. It was simply delusional for them to defeat Ning Luo with their skills. If they acted rashly now, wouldn't it be losing a few more lives? If that was the case, what was the meaning of Yi Qingtang's death? Hold on. Ignoring Qin Huan who was struggling desperately, a Xianling sect disciple was shocked as he pointed at Yi Qingtang who had turned into a statue. Zhu Chang'e and the rest looked in that direction instinctively. At that instant, the ice on Yi Qingtang's body seemed to be melting. An inexplicable flame aura blended with the force of the cold ice. Boom! Before they returned to their senses, the sturdy ice on Yi Qingtang's body exploded instantly. You must be kidding? Qin Huan's jaw dropped as he stared at Yi Qingtang. Chapter 484 The Paragon Skill 4. Currently, there was a layer of golden flames covering Yi Qingtang's body and was filled with a destructive force. The golden flames were extremely strange. They clung onto Yi Qingtang's body yet did not harm her. Even her hair and clothes were not damaged at all. That is, the Xianling sect disciples exchanged a look, and shock filled their eyes. The paragon skill? Not far away, Ning Luo was flabbergasted as he stared in disbelief at Yi Qingtang, who seemed to be walking out from a world of burning flames. Paragon skill? Is that very powerful? A devilish smile was seen on Yi Qingtang's face. Impossible! Ning Luo's eyes dilated suddenly. Paragon skill? There is a slim chance for only yellow spirit roots to understand it, and it's extremely rare for green spirit roots to understand it as well. You are only a red spirit root, Yi Qingtang. There's no way you can understand the paragon skill. Oh hey, Yi Qingtang sneered. Since that's the case, then what do you think this is? Ning Luo himself understood the paragon skill as well and thus was extremely sensitive to the aura of the paragon skill. At that instant, the golden flames that enshrouded Yi Qingtang clearly had the aura of the paragon skill. Although there were some differences, Ning Luo could confirm that there was nothing wrong. No, that's impossible. Ning Luo shook his head. Yi Qingtang's performance had completely exceeded his level of comprehension. Humans had always been fearful of the unknown. Coldness filled Yi Qingtang's eyes. Ning Luo was extremely powerful, and if not for her ultimate origin skill, perhaps she would really have been killed by him just now. Despite so, the primordial qi remaining in her body was extremely little and not enough to sustain her ultimate origin skill for too long. Yi Qingtang was clear that she had to go all out with her fur abilities at this instant and take Ning Luo down with one move. Otherwise, the consequences would be dire if her primordial qi was exhausted. Die! Yi Qingtang hooted. The golden flames transformed into billows of blazing flames, and a golden divine phoenix about 100 meters tall was formed in the sky. Read latest novels at Wuxia World. Sight the divine phoenix's eyes were fireballs which were extremely overbearing and arrogant. Then, the divine phoenix groaned, seemingly causing one's soul to leave their body. It was as though the vault of the heaven trembled as well and had to make way for it. Swoosh! The divine phoenix flapped its wings, and golden flames flooded out, turning everything into nothing. With a crushing force, it wanted to turn anyone who dared to offend it into nothing but dust. What is this? Feeling the imposing force of the divine phoenix, Ning Luo retreated a few steps instinctively. However, the ice where the divine phoenix passed by melted and turned into flowing water, which then was evaporated in an instant and turned into vapor. Ice God! Seeing that the divine phoenix was impossible to stop, Ning Luo bit his tongue, and blood dripped on the ice before him. Boom! A loud rumble of thunder reverberated in the surroundings. Under everyone's watchful eyes, an ice giant appeared quickly and took on Ning Luo's appearance. It held an ice spike in his hand and was donned in an ice armor like that of a god of war made from ice. Boom! The ice god of war stepped on the ground and walked towards the divine phoenix slowly, causing the entire land to tremor. Roar! The ice god of war growled frighteningly as the ice spike in his hand pierced towards the divine phoenix at the speed of lightning. Chapter 485 The Paragon Skill, 5. There seemed to be indifference in the divine phoenix's eyes as it noticed the situation. It howled, and golden flames soared instantly, melting the ice spike that was charging towards itself. Subsequently, the enormous divine phoenix rammed against the abdomen of the ice god of war fiercely. Boom! The attack of the divine phoenix caused the ice god of war to collapse and explode into numerous broken ice shards. Impossible! As the ice god of war was shattered, blood seeped out of Ning Luo's mouth. His paragon skill was understood as a green spirit root and, moreover, belonged to the medium level amongst the paragon skills. How could it be defeated by Yi Qingtang's so-called paragon skill? Ning Luo used his blood as a lead and controlled the ice god of war with his mind. Thus, after the ice god of war was shattered, there was serious damage inflicted to Ning Luo's mind, and he was severely injured. From afar, Zhu Chang'e and the other Xianling sect disciples were completely stupefied and almost forgot to breathe. What is that divine phoenix? Yi Qingtang only has a red spirit root. How did she understand the paragon skill? And how did she defeat Ning Luo, who was at martial qi level 3 and possessed the paragon skill, with the skills of a third heaven of martial qi level 2? Am dreaming? Qin Huan looked at Zhu Chang'e in confusion. Maybe, Zhu Chang'e replied. Senior brother Zhu, how about you give me a slap? Qin Huan asked with a frown. Pow! A resounding slap landed on Qin Huan's face. Does it hurt? Zhu Chang'e asked. Qin Huan touched his face and pondered for a moment. It seems to hurt a little. The other Xianling sect disciples stared at him blankly. Without giving them time to think, a loud sound rang. Ning Luo flew into midair instantly, wanting to flee this place. The paragon skill he used earlier had almost exhausted the primordial qi in his body, and his mind was injured. If he did hot escape, he was afraid that he would have to die there today. Wish to escape? Yi Qingtang laughed coldly. How could he have it as he wished? In an instant, the golden divine phoenix transformed into a monstrous blaze which chased after Ning Luo. The divine phoenix was extremely fast and blocked Ning Luo in just the blink of an eye. Damn you, Yi Qingtang! Ning Luo gritted his teeth and immediately retrieved a signal flare from his space ring. Boom! The signal flare exploded in the sky, forming into a certain special symbol. Yunshao SCCTS distress signal? Yi Qingtang frowned deeply. Ning Luo actually called Yunshao sect for help. No, must kill him before the Yunshao sect people arrive. Yi Qingtang pondered. The coldness in Yi Qingtang's eyes penetrated through Ank's bones as she looked at Ning Luo, who was floating in the sky above her. As Yunxiao sect's hidden spy in Xianling sect, Ning Luo had already silenced Fu Lingtian, and the consequences would be dire if he returned to Yunxiao sect alive. Once Ning Luo was allowed to return, even Yi Qingtang did not dare to guarantee that she could stop the wheels of history from rolling on the tracks of her current life once again. At that instant, the Yunxiao sect signal flare was already sent, and there was no way of stopping it. Die! Immediately, the golden divine phoenix turned into a blaze once again, wanting to devour Ning Luo completely. As long as Ning Luo died, there was hope for Xianling SCCT's survival. As Ning Luo saw the golden blaze nearing him, he did not dare to be careless, and endless cold air erupted from his body to block the attack of the golden blaze. Boom! The golden blaze exploded around Ning Luo, and flares shot up the sky. Ning Luo spat a mouthful of blood instantly and fell on the ground from midair like a kite with a snapped string. Chapter 486 Elder Lin 1. Ning Luo, you must be buried here today. I'm afraid it's delusional of you to wish to return back to Yunxiao sect alive. Yi Qingtang's eyes were ice cold as though they were completely devoid of emotion. The demonic blood sword drew a blood fog in the air. Then, Yi Qingtang charged towards Ning Luo with the demonic blood sword in hand. Junior sister Yi, don't be rash. Suddenly, Qin Huan and the rest rushed up to stop Yi Qingtang. What are you all doing? Yi Qingtang frowned. Junior sister Yi, the sect master's order is to bring this betrayer back to the sect for interrogation. If you kill him, it seems a little inappropriate. Qin Huan explained after thinking for a moment. Bringing a corpse back is the same as well, Yi Qingtang said. How is that the same? A corpse can't talk. Qin Huan was speaking halfway but met Yi Qingtang's cold glare. If I don't kill him, how about I kill you instead? Yi Qingtang said. Then, Qin Huan could not help but shudder as he sensibly retreated to a side with Zhu Chang'e and the rest. Junior sister Yi, you're right. Eliminate the evil for the sect. Kill the betrayer, Ning Luo. Qin Huan pointed at Ning Luo and shouted seriously. Kill him. Yes, kill him, Zhu Chang'e nodded as well. Kill him. The other inner sect disciples were very sensible as well. Yi Qingtang immediately flicked her wrist, and the demonic blood sword was slashed toward Ning Luo at the speed of lightning. As long as Ning Luo died, Xianling sect could be saved. However, at this critical instant, a silver arrow flew towards Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang's brows were tightly furrowed. The track of her demonic blood sword diverted a little and was blocked in front of her body. Boom! That silver arrow shot on the demonic blood sword, sparking a flare. Humph! A loud scoff erupted at the scene. In the next second, Elder Lin and his grandson, Lin Feng, walked toward them slowly. Elder Lin! Qin Huan and the rest were taken aback by Elder Lin's appearance. Master! Zhu Chang'e hurriedly bowed. Elder Lin waved a hand for Zhu Chang'e to rise before turning to give Lin Feng a look. Nodding, Lin Feng walked toward Ning Luo in great strides and helped him up with a concerned expression. Senior brother Ning Luo, are you all right? Ning Luo's lips curled up as he looked at Lin Feng. It's fine. Elder Lin, what is the meaning of this? Why did you attack junior sister Yi? Qin Huan looked at Elder Lin in confusion. Not mentioning Qin Huan, other inner sect disciples and even Zhu Chang'e could not understand Elder Lin's intention. Yi Qingtang, how bold of you! How dare you want to kill my disciple? Elder Lin bellowed at Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang scoffed coldly at Elder Lin's words. How do I explain this? Ning Luo is a spy in the sect. If I don't kill him, do I not do anything and let him kill me? Fallacious argument. Elder Lin waved his sleeve and interrupted Yi Qingtang. The sect will judge whether Ning Luo is the sect spy, and it's not yet your turn to execute the sect rites. You have committed a serious offense, yet you still don't know that you're in the wrong. Without giving Yi Qingtang a chance to speak, Elder Lin looked at the Xianling sect disciples and ordered. This girl is audacious. Capture her. This. The other Xianling sect disciples looked at each other. Chapter 487 Elder Lin 2, was Elder Lin joking? Even Ning Luo, who was at martial chi level 3, was not Yi Qingtang's opponent, yet Elder Lin told them to capture Yi Qingtang. Did he not understand the situation? Not mentioning the fact that they were not Yi Qingtang's opponent, they would not listen to Elder Lin and attack Yi Qingtang even if they could defeat Yi Qingtang. They knew what was right and wrong. Ning Luo was clearly a Xianling sect spy, and if Yi Qingtang had not appeared, they would have been met with a disaster. How could they fight Yi Qingtang now just because of Elder Lin's orders? Elder Lin, I'm afraid we cannot obey your orders, a Xianling sect disciple said grimly. Master, I cannot obey your orders as well, Zhu Chang'e said. Elder Lin had a look of surprise when he saw that these Xianling sect disciples actually refused his orders. Elder Lin, Ning Luo is clearly the spy and even attacked us just now. As the sect elder, not only did you not do anything, you even wanted us to attack junior sister Yi. Could you be a sect spy as well? Qin Huan stared at Elder Lin and questioned. Junior brother Qin Huan, do not talk nonsense. Zhu Chang'e said with a frown. Elder Lin had a changed expression after hearing Qin Huan. As a sect disciple, you have no respect for your elders. You should be punished. Then, Elder Lin waved his right arm, and a powerful breath pierced the air and charged towards Qin Huan. Qin Huan's expression changed drastically after feeling this frightening energy. Never had he expected that Elder Lin would actually attack him. A shadow flashed and blocked in front of Qin Huan. Yi Qingtang readily dissipated that energy. Elder Lin, could it be that you're afraid of being exposed and want to silence him? Yi Qingtang asked smilingly. Ah, little girl. I really underestimated you back then. Elder Lin sneered. Indeed, I want to protect Ning Luo today. However, I'm not the sect spy. Afterward, Elder Lin looked at Ning Luo beside him and said, Ning Luo, I know that you're a Yunshao sect disciple, but you and I have a strong relationship. No matter what, I will ensure your safety today. Xianling sect does not have any room for you, so I will leave together with you. What do you think? It would naturally be the best if Master is so principled. Ning Luo smiled and continued on. Master should be aware that Xianling sect now knows of something they should not and would definitely meet with a calamity. No one will be spared. You just said that we have a strong relationship. I will find a way to protect your life since you helped me today. Ning Luo, it is not just my life. Your junior brother Lin Feng's life. Elder Lin looked at his grandson, Lin Feng. Ning Luo's eyes were cold, though he had an indescribable smile on his face. Rest assured, Master. Junior brother Lin Feng and are very close as well. One am a kind person, and I will naturally protect his life as well. Good, Ning Luo. The years I spent grooming you are not in vain. Elder Lin finally heaved a sigh of relief after obtaining Ning Luo's promise. After Fu Lingtian admitted that he was a Yunshao sect disciple and revealed Yunshao sect's secret, Elder Lin felt that things were far from good. Given Yunshao sect's way of handling matters, it would definitely annihilate Xianling sect. Even if Ning Luo died here today, Yunshao sect would receive the news not long later. Ever since Fu Lingtian said the truth that day, Xianling sect was destined to be exterminated. Elder Lin was originally at his wit's end until Ning Luo sneaked into the Hall of Justice to kill Fu Lingtian and Xianling sect. Learning about that, a tiny hope arose within him. Chapter 488 Elder Lin 3. Ning Luo's actions were equivalent to admitting that he was the Yunshao sect disciple hidden in Xianling sect. However, Ning Luo was Elder Lin's favorite disciple as well. As long as he could save Ning Luo today, perhaps Ning Luo would request the Yunshao sect to let Elder Lin and Lin Feng off on account of their master and disciple relations. Elder Lin, do you think that you will able to live after saving Ning Luo today? Obviously, Yi Qingtang saw through all of Elder Lin's calculations. Humph. You don't need to worry about this. Elder Lin scoffed. Yi Qingtang, you truly shocked me. You understood the Paragon skill as a red spirit root and advanced to the third heaven of martial chi level 2 in such a short span of time. It is a pity that you have depleted almost all your primordial chi after the battle with Ning Luo earlier on. One don't need any effort to kill you now. Elder Lin had been hiding for a long time and witnessed the entire battle between Yi Qingtang and Ning Luo. Thus, he was certain that Yi Qingtang's primordial chi was already exhausted, and she was not his opponent. Qin Huan, Zhu Chang'e, and the rest were utterly taken aback. Previously, they were unaware of the identity of Ning Luo and Fu Lingtian until they found out from Elder Lin that they were actually from Yunshao sect. Yi Qingtang frowned deeply at that moment. Wuxia world. Cite as what Elder Lin said, she had used too much primordial chi because of the ultimate origin skill just now. Talking so much crap with Elder Lin was merely her using it as an opportunity to recover her primordial chi. Yi Qingtang, how would I give you a chance to turn your fate around? Then, Elder Lin hollered in fury and rammed a palm towards Yi Qingtang. Noticing the situation, the Xianling sect disciples were shocked. They originally wanted to stop it, but Elder Lin was too fast, and they could not react in time. Careful, junior sister Yi. Zhu Chang'e shouted. Without Zhu Chang'e's reminder, Yi Qingtang had already dodged to a few meters away. Clink. A long knife appeared in Elder Lin's hand. Elder Lin chased after Yi Qingtang swiftly as he brandished the knife. The knife aura swept across the surrounding imposingly. Since Yi Qingtang did not have sufficient primordial chi in her body, she did not dare to counterattack with full force and could only fight as she retreated. Unconsciously, the demonic blood sword had already blocked over 10 moves from Elder Lin, and Yi Qingtang was in the disadvantage afterward. Yi Qingtang, you must die today. Elder Lin sneered. I heard Ning Luo say that the Holy Lady of Yunshao sect, Yu, seems to have some enmity with you. You should feel honored that I'm using your head to exchange for the lives of Lin Feng and mine. Old ignorant fellow. A glint shone in Yi Qingtang's eyes, and the demonic blood sword was slashed down instantly. Clang! As the knife and sword clashed, sparks were ignited, and a formless blast of air cracked the ground as though it was a physical object. After 100 moves, Yi Qingtang's primordial chi was almost completely depleted while Elder Lin's courage mounted as the battle progressed. If Yi Qingtang had enough primordial chi, killing Elder Lin was extremely easy. Yet helpless as Yi Qingtang, even if you are a genius, you still have to die in my hands today. Elder Lin grasped the best time and used the knife aura to shake Yi Qingtang. Yi Qingtang remained silent as she recovered her primordial chi rapidly. Death is already near at hand, but you still wish to recover your primordial chi and fight with me again? Elder Lin walked towards Yi Qingtang in big strides as the long knife in his hand clattered. No! Noticing the situation, Zhu Chang'e wanted to rush forward. Senior brother Zhu, it's best to not act rashly. Lin Feng blocked in front of Zhu Chang'e. Scram! Zhu Chang'e pushed Lin Feng to the ground in an instant. I'll kill you. Qin Huan dashed forward and kicked Lin Feng's face. Chapter 489 Elder Lin, 4. Master? You have already betrayed the sect and no longer are my master. Then, Zhu Chang'e flew to the front of Yi Qingtang and glared at Elder Lin as he said in anger. On account that you have taught me, I persuade you to turn round. What lays ahead is a sea of misery without any shore. If you still don't stop now, you will be beyond redemption. As he spoke, the other Xianling sect disciples rushed forward at the same time and protected Yi Qingtang behind them. Impudent! Elder Lin bellowed coldly. In an instant, the disciples were sent flying from his endless martial aura. Given the skills of Zhu Chang'e and these inner sect disciples, it was impossible for them to block a sect elder. Although they wanted to protect Yi Qingtang's, the gap between their skills and Elder Lin's was too wide. There was no battle to begin with. Yi Qingtang, I want to see who can save you today. Elder Lin looked at Yi Qingtang with an icy laugh as though he had already beheaded Yi Qingtang. Swoosh! As he finished his sentence, his long knife was slashed towards Yi Qingtang once again. However, as the knife was halfway in its motion, an unknowing evil force emerged in Elder Lin's body. Yes. Wuxia world. Sight instinctively, Elder Lin stopped in his tracks and looked down at his chest. Boom. Almost at the same time Elder Lin looked down, a horrifying explosive sound reverberated in the air of the scene. A cloud of dust was spinning in the wind, and the entire view was covered by the dust. Yi Qingtang looked at the cloud of dust ahead with a strange expression. Expressions of confusion were etched on her face. Why did that Elder Lin suddenly explode out of nowhere? Yi Qingtang walked forward slowly and picked up a broken shard on the ground. This is... Yi Qingtang inspected the shard of glass in her hand, and there was an expression of surprise in her eyes. Revolving soul orb? The broken shard in her hands seemed extremely familiar to her eyes, and she quickly recalled that it seemed to be the revolving soul orb that she handed to Elder Qin. That's strange. I clearly handed the revolving soul orb to Elder Qin back then. Why did it appear in Elder Lin's hands today and even produce a spirit energy explosion? Yi Qingtang tilted her head, unable to comprehend. The revolving soul orb was extremely rare on this mainland. Apart from the one that she handed to Elder Qin, there should not be another one in Xianling sect. Moreover, according to Yi Qingtang's understanding, Elder Qin and Elder Lin had always been on bad terms, and Elder Qin would definitely not gift the revolving soul orb to Elder Lin. Yi Qingtang was in deep thought for a moment and thought that there was only one possibility. Perhaps Elder Lin stole the revolving soul orb when Elder Qin was unprepared, but Yi Qingtang still could not think of the reason for its explosion at the moment. What a great Blood Moon sect elder! When you gave me the revolving soul orb back then, you probably already have calculated that it would explode. Yi Qingtang sneered. However, Elder Lin suffered the result of that little slyness that the Blood Moon sect elder pulled in her place. The dust faded away very quickly, and Elder Lin's figure appeared once again from it. However, Elder Lin was covered in blood while his hair was charred and disheveled. His abdomen area, especially, was badly mangled, and his left arm was entirely shattered from the explosion. At that instant, Elder Lin panted heavily, and his body trembled violently. Disbelief filled his eyes. He could not understand what exactly caused the revolving soul orb that he stole from Elder Qin to explode and severely injure him. From afar, Qin Huan, Zhu Chang'e, and the rest were dumbfounded as they looked at Elder Lin. Elder Lin, self-destructed? Qin Huan was astonished. Chapter 490 Elder Lin, 5. Self-destructed? Another Xianling sect disciple's complexion was nowhere better than Qin Huan's. Grandfather! Aghast filled Lin Feng, and he wanted to rush to Elder Lin. I'll kill you! Qin Huan heavily punched Lin Feng on the face. Before this, Qin Huan obtained something good when he was out on a mission in a mountain, and thus, his skills escalated, and he was promoted as an inner sect disciple as an exception. The current Lin Feng was no longer Qin Huan's opponent and had no power to retaliate. Once again, Lin Feng collapsed on the ground from Qin Huan's punch and was unable to stand up. Looking at Elder Lin's miserable appearance, Ning Luo had an undetectable scoff in his eyes. At that instant, Elder Lin was like someone who was about to die. He spat out large mouthfuls of blood and was heavily injured and extremely frail. With the demonic blood sword in hand, Yi Qingtang walked towards Elder Lin slowly, and her lips curled. Elder Lin, I wonder if you still want to use my life in exchange for the safety of Lin Feng and yourself, Wuxi World. Sight color drained from Elder Lin's face as he saw the murderous intent in Yi Qingtang's eyes. He was severely injured by the revolving soul orb and no longer had any combat power left. Even if Yi Qingtang did not have sufficient primordial qi, it was extremely easy to kill him. Yi Qingtang, 1 A Xianling sect elder. You? Elder Lin dragged his damaged body and stumbled backward. Ha, Yi Qingtang sneered. But I remember that you have already betrayed Xianling sect. I'm afraid it is inappropriate to call yourself a sect elder now. In reality, Yi Qingtang already had the resolve to kill him regardless of whether he betrayed the sect. In her previous life, after the secret of her heart of the demon god was revealed, Elder Lin tried to assassinate her once. Had Yun Shu not rushed there in time and used his life to protect her, she would have died in his hands. Unable to succeed, Folder Lin subsequently spread the secret of Yi Qingtang's heart of the demon god and caused her to be chased after for her life for over 300 years by numerous forces who wished to obtain the heart of the demon god. How could Yi Qingtang forget this blood feud? Yi Qingtang was also a reasonable person. Since it was a debt her the previous life, she would seek revenge in this one. Yi Qingtang, what do you want to do? Fear ultimately appeared on Elder Lin's face as he saw the intensification of the murderous expression in Yi Qingtang's eyes. Sush. Like a fiendish demon from the abyss, Yi Qingtang slashed her demonic blood sword across, which was her most direct response. The demonic blood sword pierced through Elder Lin's chest instantly. Elder Lin turned pale and let out a miserable scream. Does it hurt? There was a sinister smile on Yi Qingtang's face as she twisted the demonic blood sword gently. Ah! Elder Lin screamed like that of a slaughtered pig. In the next second, Yi Qingtang withdrew the demonic blood sword and chopped off Elder Lin's head. Not far away, Zhu Chang'e turned around, unwilling and unable to bear the tragic sight. After all, Elder Lin was once his master. Grandfather! Lin Feng shouted from the top of his lungs as he glared at Yi Qingtang, wanting to tear her into pieces. What are you looking at? Qin Huan's fist rammed on Lin Feng's face like raindrops. With a few punches and kicks, Lin Feng passed out. After killing Elder Lin, Yi Qingtang walked towards Ning Luo with great strides. No matter what, Ning Luo must not be allowed to leave this place alive today. At that moment, Ning Luo looked at Yi Qingtang and chuckled. Junior Sister Yi, you're indeed amazing. Even Elder Lin died in your hands. Chapter 491 Yunshao Sect Disciples 1. There's no hurry. You're next, Yi Qingtang said. Ning Luo shook his head. Junior Sister Yi, don't speak too confidently. You want to kill me but have missed the best opportunity to do so. As Ning Luo finished his sentence, two figures descended from the sky. The incomers were a male and female who were both donned in long white robes with embroidery of two unusual clouds on the chest area. Yunshao Sect Disciples? Zhu Chang'e was astonished. The pair of people before him were both Yunshao Sect's inner sect disciples, who possessed unfathomable martial skills. Humph! You're really useless, Ning Luo. As Yunshao Sect's inner sect disciple, you're cornered to such a situation by Xianling Sect disciples. The male in the lead said coldly and cast Ning Luo a look from the corner of his eye. Ha! Senior brother Zhua is right. I am all to blame for being useless and having to trouble you and senior sister Yu to help me. Ning Luo chuckled. The girl who was addressed as senior sister Yu looked at Ning Luo indifferently without saying anything. Whatever. Since we are here, let's kill all these Xianling Sect disciples, and we will bring you back to the sect afterward. Senior brother Zhua looked across Yi Qingtang and the rest. Then, the change of events had already exceeded Yi Qingtang's predictions. The primordial GI in her body was already insufficient, and it was almost completely depleted after the battle with Elder Lin earlier on. Elder Lin just died, yet then came two Yunshao Sect's inner sect disciples. Leave first. Yi Qingtang looked at Zhu Chang'e, Qin Huan, and the rest. No! Qin Huan refused at once. Junior Sister Yi, how can we abandon you and leave? Zhu Chang'e echoed. You all leave first. I have ways to deal with this. If you all are here, it is a burden to me instead, Yi Qingtang said seriously. This, after hearing Yi Qingtang, the Xianling Sect disciples were at a loss instantly. They initially wanted to stick together through life and death with Yi Qingtang, but she said that they would be a burden to her. Forget it. Since Junior Sister Yi said this, she must have a way of getting out of this predicament. We will leave first and search for reinforcements. Zhu Chang'e said. Junior Sister Yi, you must be careful. Qin Huan reminded. Under Yi Qingtang's protection, the few people evacuated swiftly. Want to leave right before our eyes? Senior Sister Yu sneered. She was about to chase after them but was deliberately held back by Ning Luo. Ning Luo, what are you doing? Senior Sister Yu shouted furiously. Senior Sister, they're merely little clowns only. We do not need to waste any time here. The more pressing matter at hand is to return as soon as possible and notify the sect of this. Ning Luo explained. After pondering for a while, Senior Sister Yu finally nodded and said, "All right. Since that's the case, I'll kill this dog that's standing in our way first." The dog standing in our way, which Senior Sister Yu said, naturally referred to Yi Qingtang. Senior Sister Yu, the primordial qi in her body is already depleted. There's no need to bother about this disabled person. The better option is to leave now, Ning Luo said with a smile. After hearing Ning Luo, Senior Sister Yu's cold eyes landed on Ning Luo as she said coldly, "Ning Luo, what are you planning exactly? You clearly know that this is the person whom Senior Sister Yu wants dead, but from what you said, you seem to wish to let her off?" Wuxia World. Saita. Junior brother Ning Luo. Actually, you already knew from the start that you and I were here. Could it be that the battle with Yi Qingtang was intentionally put up as a show for us? Senior brother Zhua asked meaningfully. That's why I found it strange. Your paragon skill of the frost is already at the 2nd level, but I saw that you did not use all your force. Ning Luo, what are you planning exactly? Senior Sister Yu stared at Ning Luo. Chapter 492 Yunshao Sect Disciple 2. Ha! Ning Luo showed an evil smile and said, "Senior brother Zhua, Senior Sister Yu, you worry too much. Senior Sister Yu asked me to finish Yi Qingtang, but you wanted to step in. It should not work this way. Furthermore, Yi Qingtang caused me great injuries. I would definitely not let her go so easily. I will be the one to end her life." After hearing Ning Luo's explanation, Senior Sister Yu's eyes were full of suspicion. Senior brother Zhua gave an ambiguous smile. Junior brother Ning Luo, based on your 2nd level of paragon skill, you did not use your full strength just now. It was obvious to me. Is it that you are obsessed with Yi Qingtang's appearance and fell in love with her? I shall warn you first. Junior Sister Yu wants her dead. You should keep your little thoughts in case you provoke Junior Sister Yu. No one will be able to save you then. Senior brother Zhua, don't bother to talk to him. Ning Luo's beloved one had passed away 3 years ago. He will never be interested in another person. I don't care what he was thinking, but now, we should chop off the woman's head and bring it back to Yu. Then, it would be mission complete, Senior Sister Yu said. Okay. Senior brother Zhua nodded. The two people's aura of martial qi level 3 exploded in the surroundings. Yi Qingtang was engulfed by the wind and the waves created instantly. Yi Qingtang could only defend herself using her primordial qi. These two people's abilities are even higher than Ning Luo. Even if my primordial qi is sufficient, I may only be able to come to a draw with one of them. Yi Qingtang frowned. Yi Qingtang rolled her eyes and looked towards her space ring. A talisman appeared in her hand at the next second. The talismans were the treasures that the Yunshao sect master gave to Yu Tianqing. They sealed powerful array formations and divine skills. With a talisman in her hand, Yi Qingtang was confident that even if she could not fight off the two people, she could still run away. Such a pity. I wish I can keep all these precious talismans. One will be gone now. Yi Qingtang stared at the talisman and felt heartbroken. When Yi Qingtang was about to use the talisman, Ning Luo suddenly said, "Senior brother Zhua, Senior Sister Yu, there's a Xianling sect elder approaching. I think it's best to handle him first." Wuxia World. Sight laughter filled his eyes. The two people then looked up and saw an elder walked over slowly. There was an elder about 80 years old taking slow steps over. He said, "Young people should care for each other and be peaceful. Don't always try to fight and kill each other." Venerable Wu? Yi Qingtang sized up the elder and realized that he was the Venerable Wu from the Sword Spirit Workshop. As an elder who always stayed at the Sword Spirit Workshop for weapon refining, why would he come here? Yi Qingtang felt a headache. Even she herself also decided to escape. Now there was one more person to take care of. Another one comes here for death. Senior Sister Yu snorted. "Old man, look at your age. You're committing suicide here." Senior brother Zhua laughed at the elder. Venerable Wu walked beside Yi Qingtang and smiled. Young people nowadays always need old men to take care of. Yi Qingtang stared at him blankly. I did not ask you to look after me, okay? It is much easier for me to escape along. Old man, I don't want to have your blood on my hands since you are so old. If you understand the situation, leave now. The smile on senior brother Zhua's face still remained. Where are your manners, son? Did your parents did not teach you basic manners? Venerable Wu sighed. Chapter 493 Yunshao Sect Disciple 3. Old Bastard. What did you say? Senior Sister Yu's eyes suddenly became fierce and malicious. Nothing. Do me a favor, okay? Don't find troubles for Xianling Sect disciples. Just leave. The elder waved his hand. A favor? Look at how old you are now. Besides an old body, what else do you have? Senior brother Zhua laughed. Don't bother talking to him anymore. Kill him together. Senior Sister Yu flew over, and her martial chi level 3 aura was getting more intense. Yi Qingtang immediately got up and stood in front of Venerable Wu to protect him. The martial breath on Venerable Wu was very weak. He was just one of the members at the Sword Spirit Workshop. How could he defend the attack from a Yunshao Sect disciple? Young people, how dare you to bully an old man? I'm already half-step into the grave now. Venerable Wu made a detour to cross Yi Qingtang and walked towards Senior Sister Yu. Old bastard, this will be your death. Senior Sister Yu shouted angrily. Her palms slapped downwards and a huge cyan palm shadow came from the void, smashing downwards. The huge cyan palm contained unimaginable power, and it seemed that it could suppress the earth. The ground under the Venerable Wu's feet was crushed into pieces by the power. However, the Venerable Wu stood calmly and lifted his right arm slightly. The pressing martial breath seemed to evolve into an ancient demonic beast. Boom! After a loud explosion, the huge cyan palm was crushed and disappeared. What? Senior Sister Yu looked at the Venerable Wu in shock. Young people, you are too impulsive. Do you not know how to respect old people? Such a disappointment. The Venerable Wu shook his head. He lifted his arm again, and a strong attractive force pulled Senior Sister Yu forward. The Venerable Wu clutched her neck and sighed. Such a pretty face. Why are you willing to be a thief? Old bastard, how dare you humiliate my junior sister? Senior brother Zhua shouted and took out a yellow-grade sword, piercing towards the Venerable Wu. The force was immense. It was like a wild beast that could destroy everything. Two young people bullying an old man together. Do you not know what humiliation is? The Venerable Wu extended his fingers. Clink. The yellow-grade sword was held by Venerable Wu's 2 fingers. How is this possible? Senior brother was totally shocked. No matter how much strength he used, he could not withdraw his weapon. The Venerable Wu did not leave any reaction time for Senior brother Zhua. His finger pointed at his chest area. Boom. Senior brother Zhua's body was like a piece of paper in the gust of wind, flying outward. Senior brother Zhua felt his inner breath, and blood was flowing everywhere inside his body. His face was red, and blood ran over from his mouth. Enchantment Eyes. Read its latest chapters at Wuxia World. Sight Senior Sister Yu murmured softly, and her eyes suddenly turned into cyan in color. It seemed that one's soul could be enchanted by the eyes, and his mind could be controlled. Enchantment skill? The Venerable Wu sneered. Young girl, I'm old enough to be your grandfather. How dare you use the enchantment skill on me? The Venerable Wu then threw Senior Sister Yu outward. Senior brother Zhua, the old bastard's mind power was too strong. My enchantment skill could not work on him, Senior Sister Yu said and looked at Senior brother Zhua. Senior Sister Yu, Senior brother Zhua, the old man is not an ordinary person. We should escape from this place first. If the Xianling sect elders reach the place, it will be harder for us to leave. Ning Luo tried to persuade the two of them. Senior brother Zhua contemplated for a while and eventually nodded. Ning Luo is right. We should leave now. Chapter 494 Yunshao Sect Disciples 4. The 3 of them jumped into the clouds and disappeared. 3 children. You just left like that? Such a disappointment. It's so rare for me to be involved in a fight. What a waste of my energy. The Venerable Wu sighed. Yi Qingtang looked at the Venerable Wu in astonishment. The Venerable Wu's cultivation level was so high that he could easily handle the combined attack from the two inner sect disciples of the Yunshao sect. Wu Shiworld. Sight before Yi Qingtang could ask anything, a few shadows appeared. The inner sect elders including Elder Mo had arrived. Elder Qin and the Fist faction elder arrived soon after them. Among these people, there was a middle-aged man in a black robe. His martial aura was too very intense. Xianling sect master, Li Yunfeng. Yi Qingtang murmured thoughtfully as she stared at the man. Yi Qingtang saw the Xianling sect master in her previous life as well. That was why she could recognize him instantly. Greetings, elders and sect master. Yi Qingtang greeted them with hands folded. Elder Mo nodded slightly. The sect master and Elder Mo walked towards the Venerable Wu. They folded their hands and said respectfully, "Grand Elder." The Venerable Wu waved his hand and replied calmly. Ning Luo was saved by two of the Yunshao sect disciples. Return to the sect now and disperse all the disciples. The sect elders immediately disappeared without a single word after the Venerable Wu finished his words. Grand Elder. Yi Qingtang stared at the Venerable Wu in front of her. Her eyes were filled with astonishment. The kind elder that she knew for quite a while at the Sword Spirit Workshop was the Grand Elder of the Xianling sect. Qingtang, are you injured? The Venerable Wu walked forward and sized her up. Grand Elder. After knowing the Venerable Wu's true identity, Yi Qingtang immediately greeted him with her hands folded. Young girl, I'm not used to it when you are so serious. Just addressing me as the Venerable Wu will do. The Venerable Wu smiled and waved his hand. Grand Elder, Yi Qingtang nodded. Isn't it Venerable Wu? The Venerable Wu smiled. Venerable Wu, Yi Qingtang had to change her words. Qingtang, Xianling sect has reached the point of death or survival. You should pack up soon and leave, the Venerable Wu said after a period-long silence. Yi Qingtang knew what he meant when he finished his sentence. The Grand Elder knew that the Yunshao sect would not let the Xianling sect go this time. In order to save the disciples, he intended to disperse all of them. We shall return to the sect first. A kind smile was still seen on the Venerable Wu's face. Soon, the two of them flew into the clouds and rushed back to the Xianling sect. Yi Qingtang and the Grand Elder reached the Xianling sect after half a day. A few thousand disciples were gathered at the inner sect square. Even the outer sect disciples were present. Junior Sister Yi, you're finally back. Zhu Chang'e and Qin Huan surrounded Yi Qingtang when she appeared. Yes, there's nothing to worry about, Yi Qingtang said. Qingtang, it's been a long time since we last met. Yun Shu and Lin Long also appeared. Usually, it's rare to see the inner sect elders. Today, all of them finished their seclusion and even asked the outer sect disciples to gather at the inner sect square. I'm not sure what's going on, Yun Shu said. Lin Long frowned as there was an ominous feeling arising in her heart. Chapter 495 Live or Die Together. Yi Qingtang held her fist but did not say anything. She still could not change the things that were about to happen. Things that happened in her previous life could not be prevented in this life. The Xianling sect would soon disappear from history. She was unwilling to accept the truth. In her previous life, Elder Mo, Elder Qin, the Grand Elder, and most of the sect disciples were murdered within the sect. Yi Qingtang held her fist tightly. It was not enough. Still not enough. She was not powerful enough to change anything. If she was powerful enough, she could end the entire Yunshao sect instantly. Then she would rewrite history. Only the weak would follow destiny. After a long while, Yi Qingtang's eyes were getting firmer. She would never bow in front of destiny and surrender to it. Even if the sky were to be reversed and time flowed backward, she would fight against it. Elder Huang of the outer sect suddenly announced, "Tonight, we are not separated by the inner and outer sect. We shall celebrate the gathering." Many disciples cheered after hearing that. At midnight, the inner square was ablaze with lights. A few thousand disciples gathered in small groups. Some were drinking delightfully. Some were waving their swords. Many disciples were exchanging their skills and experiences. Some of the outer sect disciples gained the courage to ask for advice from inner sect disciples after a few rounds of drinks. The inner sect disciples were also willing to share their experiences and pointed out the inadequacies they had. Yi Qingtang recalled the days she spent at the Falling Sky Valley as she saw the harmony among the Xianling sect disciples. Though there were conflicts, the bond between the disciples was always present. Things that are about to happen will happen eventually. This is the last moment before the storm comes. Yi Qingtang closed her eyes and enjoyed the peace. The next morning at the inner sect square, the few inner sect elders including Elder Mo and the sect master Li Yunfeng showed up. Yesterday, all the disciples gathered at the inner sect. Many inner sect disciples suspected that there were ominous things that were about to happen. All disciples, sect master Li Yunfeng said as he scanned through the crowd. The sect has decided to disperse the inner and the outer sect. All disciples were shocked as they could not believe what they just heard. Both the inner and outer sect disciples thought that they heard it wrong. The Xianling sect was going to disperse the inner and the outer sect? Loud discussions arose at the square. Sect master, may I know why is it so? Why does the Xianling sect want to disperse the inner and outer sect? Some of the senior inner sect disciples asked. Li Yunfeng was silent for a while and then sighed. There is an unavoidable calamity that is going to happen to the Xianling sect. It may mark the end of our sect. To prevent unnecessary sacrifices, we need to disperse you. What? Xianling sect's calamity? Many inner sect disciples were stunned. The few inner sect elders also did not hold back and explain the truth. Since they had decided to disperse the inner and outer sect disciples, they had to explain everything clearly. The whole square was silent. After a long time, one of the inner sect disciples shouted, I joined the Xianling sect when I was 12. It has been 5 years now. Xianling sect is my home, and all the disciples here are my family. Now that my home is in danger, how can I just run away for my own safety? Senior brother Tao Ran is right. We are the Xianling sect disciples, and Xianling sect is our home. We will never leave the sect behind when our sect is going to face attacks from the enemies. If we run away, we will never find a place to stand in this world. I will either live or die with the sect. I will not step back no matter who our enemy is. Ji Muyuan stepped forward and said, I will either live or die with the sect. I will not be afraid of any enemies ahead. Zhu Chang'e stepped forward. I will either live or die with the sect. I will never run away for my own safety when the enemies come. Feng Moli stepped forward. Tam just an ordinary man, but I will never run away. I will fight till the last second for the sect. More disciples stepped forward and pledged their loyalty. We live as the Xianling sect disciples. We die as the Xianling sect ghosts. As the Xianling sect disciples, we welcome our friends with sincerity, and we kill our enemies with our blood. Chapter 496 The Blood Moon 1. A few thousand inner sect disciples were touched by the scene. Only a few disciples chose to leave. Sect Master Li Yunfeng wanted to disperse these disciples to ensure their safety. However, no matter how he chased them away, they chose to remain in the sect. Eventually, he had to compromise. The loyalty that the outer sect disciples had towards the sect was much weaker. More than half of the outer sect disciples fled from the Xianling sect without any hesitation, including Lu Xiuwen and Su Wan. To everyone who remains, it's my Xianling sect's honor to have you guys here. Elder Mo stepped forward and scanned through the crowd. It's our honor to join the Xianling sect in our life. We are willing to use our blood to protect our sect. We'll either live or die with the sect. Yi Qingtang was also touched by the thousands of disciples who remained. In her previous life, most of these disciples were killed during the fight against Yunshao sect. They could not protect the sect, and neither could the sect protect them. Junior sister Yi, Yun Shu and Lin Long walked towards Yi Qingtang. You did not leave? Yi Qingtang was surprised. Yun Shu shook his head and said, since we joined the sect, we are the sect disciples. If we leave the sect when it's in danger, we will regret for the rest of our lives. All sorts of feelings filled up her mind as she stared at Yun Shu. She would try all her best to protect the sect. Yi Qingtang took a glimpse and noticed that the Blood Moon Elder was following a group of outer sect disciples, trying to leave the sect secretly. Wuxia world. Yi Qingtang sneered and held the Blood Moon Elder's collar. He was about to rage but forced a smile after noticing it was Yi Qingtang. Where are you going? Yi Qingtang smiled and asked. I'm not a Xianling sect disciple, and Xianling sect is about to face its calamity soon. I will definitely not fight for the sect. Why you pull me back? If you leave now, I will reveal your true identity. Yi Qingtang smiled. The Blood Moon Elder was stunned and scanned the surroundings carefully. He was relieved after knowing there was no one around. Yi Qingtang, if you want to die, then go ahead. Don't pull me along. The Xianling sect knew the secrets of the Yunshao sect, and they will soon kill everyone in the Xianling sect. Based on our abilities, it's suicide if we stay. How about we leave first? When you are stronger, we'll find the Yunshao sect for revenge. The Blood Moon Elder was trying to convince Yi Qingtang. You can only follow me. Yi Qingtang did not buy his words at all. It have to follow you even if you are committing suicide? The Blood Moon Elder frowned. Yes. Yi Qingtang nodded. That's so unreasonable. Do you still want the bonded soul pill? Yi Qingtang smiled. Bonded soul pill? You have it now? The Blood Moon Elder's eyes sparkled. He was longing for the bonded soul pill all the time. Yi Qingtang held her chin and said, Not yet, but I have collected a few ingredients. If you listen to me, you will have the bonded soul pill. Not yet. The Blood Moon Elder gritted his teeth. He really wanted to tear her apart now. If he listened to her and stayed in the Xianling sect, why would he need the bonded soul pill if he could not even guarantee his own life? Chapter 497 The Blood Moon 2. Yi Qingtang, I will not die along with you in the Xianling sect. Don't even think about it, the Blood Moon Elder sneered as he sized her up. However, he was totally shocked as he looked at her. His face was filled with astonishment. You, the Blood Moon Elder pointed at her, and his body shivered slightly. Yi Qingtang planned to use some effort to convince him, but she was stunned when she saw his reaction. This is impossible, the Blood Moon Elder shook his head. He opened his eyes wide as he stared at her in disbelief. He saw clearly that there was a blood moon sparkling at her glabella just now. Blood moon aura? Blood moon aura? Yi Qingtang frowned and pointed to herself. That's right. The Blood Moon Elder was very sure. The blood moon aura that she had and the blood moon at her glabella represented a very high position in the registration system of the Blood Moon sect. Pow! Before the Blood Moon Elder could say anything else, Yi Qingtang slapped his forehead and said, Are you joking with me? I'm joking with you? The Blood Moon Elder was speechless. As the Blood Moon sect elder, how could he sense wrongly when he was so sensitive towards the Blood Moon aura? Follow me. The Blood Moon Elder turned and walked towards the back of the mountain. Yi Qingtang did not know what he was playing but still decided to follow him. Read latest chapters at Wuxia World. They reached a river at the back of the mountain soon. A streak of Blood Moon aura flowed out of the Blood Moon Elder's finger and swiped through Yi Qingtang's glabella. A blood moon appeared at the glabella immediately. You check for yourself, the Blood Moon Elder said. Yi Qingtang lowered her head and looked into the river. She was shocked instantly and could not believe what she saw. There was really a blood moon at her glabella. Yi Qingtang, how did you get the Blood Moon aura, and where did this blood moon come from? The Blood Moon Elder asked hurriedly. The Blood Moon Elder was confused, and Yi Qingtang was totally bewildered. The blood moon slowly disappeared. She was stained with the Blood Moon aura out of nowhere and even had a blood moon. The Blood Moon aura on you is different from the normal members. Even the Blood Moon is different from normal elders. Even the Blood Moon sect elders may not notice that if they do not pay attention to. Only the Blood Moon aura can reveal the blood moon. The Blood Moon Elder murmured to himself. Based on the things written in the book of sect history, such situations would never happen unless it was the Blood Moon Lord from thousands of years ago who gave the blood moon using special methods. Such a blood moon could only be given by the Blood Moon Lord. Even the Blood Moon sect master did not have the qualifications to do so. People who were given the power of the blood moon by the Blood Moon Lord thousands of years ago were called the Blood Moon Guardians. Their positions were above the elders and just below the sect masters. The Blood Moon Elder would never believe that Yi Qingtang was one of the Blood Moon Guardians. None of the sect masters had revived now, and the Lord had also disappeared for thousands of years, so the Blood Moon Elder suspected that the Blood Moon Aura and the Blood Moon that Yi Qingtang had were forged by a special potion. Such a situation was seen before. Thousands of years ago, a few hundred of super sects combined their power to terminate the Blood Moon sect. Before that, these super sects had invented a certain potion that could forge the Blood Moon Aura. Chapter 498, The Blood Moon, 3. He remembered that many super sect disciples disguised themselves as the Blood Moon members and fooled the Blood Moon sect using the special potion. However, those potions could only help them to disguise as normal members. He had never seen a potion that could help Yi Qingtang disguise as a Blood Moon Guardian. Someone had invented the potion that could disguise one as a Blood Moon Guardian? The Blood Moon Elder was confused. What's going on? Yi Qingtang slapped his head. Why did you hit me? It's not even my business. The Blood Moon Elder took a few steps back. Was Yi Qingtang obsessed with hitting him? As a Blood Moon sect elder, he was hit by a girl. Yi Qingtang did not bother about the Blood Moon Elder and immersed herself in thought. Wuxia world. Suddenly she remembered the brother she had. The sworn brother that she had seemed to be a great fan of the Blood Moon sect, and even called himself the Blood Moon Lord. Yi Qingtang's face suddenly changed, and she held the Blood Moon Elder up. I will fight back if you hit me one more time. The Blood Moon Elder tucked his neck instinctively. Is the Blood Moon Lord still alive? Yi Qingtang said. The Blood Moon Elder shook his head. Since the fight between the Lord and the Ultimate Elder happened thousands of years ago, he has not been seen. No one knows whether he is alive or dead. Yi Qingtang let go of the Blood Moon Elder. She shook her head and laughed at herself. How could the brother she had be the Blood Moon Lord in the legend? Yi Qingtang, did you have any contact with anyone? The Blood Moon Aura and the Blood Moon you have are the same as the Blood Moon Guardians. From what I know, there was a potion that could forge the Blood Moon Aura few thousands of years ago, the Blood Moon Elder said. After hearing what he said, Yi Qingtang told him the things between her and her brother. What did you say? Who dared to disguise as the Blood Moon Lord? The Blood Moon Elder shouted in anger. The presence of the Blood Moon Lord was like the faith totem of the Blood Moon sect. Who dared to disguise as him? The brother I have is a bit ignorant. If one meet him next time, I will ask him to apologize to you. Yi Qingtang felt slightly embarrassed. It was really inappropriate to disguise as someone who was the faith totem of the Blood Moon sect. She said earlier that he had to disguise as the Blood Moon Lord out of so many other choices. Did he think that his life was too long for him to live? Humph! If he dares to show up, I will chop off his head. The Blood Moon Elder sneered. Okay, you are the most powerful and you are the best. Yi Qingtang tapped his left shoulder as a sign of comfort. The Blood Moon Elder took half a step back in discontentment. Did the girl just treat him like a child? Yi Qingtang was sure that the brother she had must have possessed the potion that could forge the Blood Moon Aura and the Blood Moon. He definitely applied the potion on her when she was not aware. He was the crazy fan of the Blood Moon sect, and he wanted to drag her down as well? Let him live in his dream. Yi Qingtang was stunned for a second and then looked at her reflection in the water. She concentrated her primordial GI at her glabella area, and the Blood Moon resurfaced again. It faded as she released her primordial chi. A thought emerged in her head. She looked at the Blood Moon Elder and said, "Just now, you said that the forged Blood Moon Aura and the Blood Moon belonged to the Guardian's level." Chapter 499, The Blood Moon, 4. Around there. The Blood Moon Elder replied unpleasantly. After getting the confirmation, Yi Qingtang rolled her eyes, and her lips tilted. She had thought of a bold plan. Where is the headquarters of the Blood Moon sect? Yi Qingtang chuckled and came near to the Blood Moon Elder. Why did you ask? The Blood Moon Elder frowned as he could sense her intentions. I have a plan. Yi Qingtang explained her thoughts softly by his ear. The Blood Moon Elder's pupils contracted upon hearing her plan. He could not believe what he just heard. How is my plan? Yi Qingtang smiled. Yi Qingtang, you're daydreaming. How dare you disguise as the Blood Moon Guardian and deceive the members to join the fight against Yunshao sect? What? You don't want the bonded soul pill anymore? Yi Qingtang's face darkened. This is not the problem about the bonded soul pill. It is too risky. The position of the Blood Moon Guardian is just below the sect master. How can you just easily disguise as a guardian? The Blood Moon Elder said. You are such a coward. Yi Qingtang shook her head and laughed coldly. Yi Qingtang, who did you call a coward? The Blood Moon Elder shouted in anger. What? Did I say anything wrong? Was Yunshao sect not part of the sects that terminated the Blood Moon sect back then? Even one of your Blood Moon sect elders also surrendered to the Yunshao sect. You don't even feel humiliated? Yi Qingtang smiled. You. The Blood Moon Elder's face was gloomy as if Yi Qingtang mentioned his weak spot. If you're angry, release your anger on the Yunshao sect. What's the point of arguing with me here? Are all the people of the Blood Moon sect cowards? No wonder you failed thousands of years ago. Yi Qingtang sighed, and her face was filled with disappointment. Nonsense. Who dares to call himself the king when the Blood Moon Lord was present? The Blood Moon Elder said and waved his sleeves. True heroes do not mention their past. Furthermore, what's the point of telling me who the king is? Tell Yunshao sect then. Yi Qingtang sneered. Wuxia world. Yi Qingtang's words did make the Blood Moon Elder feel slightly angry. When the Blood Moon sect was in control of the world, everyone had to pay respects to them back then. What was Yunshao sect even? Since you're not willing to cooperate with me, then you can stay at the Xianling sect and wait for the Yunshao sect to kill you, Yi Qingtang said. Yi Qingtang seemed to be serious with her words. If the Blood Moon Elder did not agree with her, he might really be involved in the fight and die miserably. Yi Qingtang, I can only bring you to the sect division. The Blood Moon Elder could not help but compromise eventually. At the Blood Moon sect's peak, there were 108 branches and 36 divisions. The peak influence and power disappeared along with the fall of the Blood Moon sect. Now, the Blood Moon Elder could only bring Yi Qingtang to one of the divisions. So, you agreed? Yi Qingtang smiled. I don't want to wait for my death here. It's not bad if you can teach the Yunshao sect a lesson. Then, the bonded soul pill, the Blood Moon Elder said. Relax, if you cooperate, I will refine the bonded soul pill soon. Yi Qingtang gave her promise. Yi Qingtang left the Xianling sect secretly with the Blood Moon Elder after a short while. The nearest Blood Moon sect division was at a remote place in the north. Before heading to the Blood Moon sect division, Yi Qingtang brought the Blood Moon Elder to Yunshao sect's territory. Chapter 500 Stirring Things Up 1. Yi Qingtang, did you come to Yunshao sect's territory to court death? In the Imperial City, the Blood Moon sect elder had a strange expression as he was unable to understand Yi Qingtang's thoughts. "It have a sense of propriety," Yi Qingtang said. This Imperial City was only a distance away from Yunshao sect. According to the memories of her previous life, there was a mountain outside this city which belonged to Yunshao sect, where many of its outer sect disciples cultivated at. As they talked, two young males walked into the tavern with great strides. Be careful. Don't get caught. It's Yunshao sect disciples, the Blood Moon Elder warned softly. Although Yi Qingtang and he were in disguise, they still had to be cautious. If they were discovered to be Xianling sect disciples, the consequences would be dire. At that instant, Yi Qingtang suddenly stood up and walked to the table where the two males were sitting at. Are the two of you Yunshao sect disciples? Very quickly, Yi Qingtang was beside the table, and she asked with a smile. You can't even recognize us, Yunshao sect disciples? One of them said coldly. It's correct then. Yi Qingtang nodded. What do you mean? The Yunshao sect disciple asked instinctively. Sush. Then, the smile on Yi Qingtang's face disappeared, and she attacked the two Yunshao sect disciples without giving them any chance to react. Boom. Read the latest chapters at Wuxia World. Site boom. Along with the loud sounds, the two Yunshao sect disciples were sent flying from Yi Qingtang's punch. Everyone in the tavern stared in disbelief with their jaws hanging wide open at that instant. There was actually someone in the Imperial City who dared to attack Yunshao sect disciples. After landing on the ground, the two Yunshao sect disciples spat blood. Both of them were Yunshao sect's outer sect disciples, and their martial skills were merely around the second heaven of martial chi level 2, similar to Fu Lingtian. How were they Yi Qingtang's opponents? You dare to provoke Yunshao sect? One of them looked at Yi Qingtang appalled. Yi Qingtang's lips tugged up slightly. What is Yunshao sect even? I will spare you two lowly people today. Remember, I am a Xianling sect disciple, and my name is Yi Qingtang. Afterward, Yi Qingtang waved and left with the Blood Moon sect elder, ignoring everyone's gazes. Yi Qingtang, you are crazy. The Blood Moon sect elder shouted outside the tavern. They initially still had time to hide from those Yunshao sect disciples, but Yi Qingtang actually dashed up to beat those two Yunshao sect disciples into a pulp with everyone watching her. Yi Qingtang did not bother with the Blood Moon sect elder as her bright eyes looked far away. Three Yunshao sect outer sect disciples were walking side by side, who seemed to be returning from the mountain. Yi Qingtang, you can't be. The Blood Moon sect elder was shocked when he saw the unusual glint in Yi Qingtang's eyes. Yet, when he just spoke, Yi Qingtang flashed across and arrived near the three Yunshao sect disciples. Are the three of you Yunshao sect disciples? Yi Qingtang smiled. Are you blind? Do you still have to ask this kind of thing? One of them said indifferently. That's right then. Yi Qingtang nodded. Before the three people could react, Yi Qingtang attacked instantly. These three people were Yunshao sect's outer sect disciples whose skills were far from Yi Qingtang's. Moreover, they did not have any precaution at all, allowing Yi Qingtang to succeed easily. In a jiffy, three bodies were flung far away like kites with broken strings. Oh, poor you. How dare you injure Yunshao sect disciples? Chapter 501 Stirring Things Up, 2. I'll spare you three lowly people today. Go back and tell Yunshao sect that I am a Xianling sect disciple, and my name is Yi Qingtang. Afterward, Yi Qingtang turned around and left. Noticing it, the Blood Moon sect elder chased after hurriedly. Yi Qingtang, what deep-seated hatred do you have with Xianling sect? The Blood Moon sect elder looked at Yi Qingtang meaningfully. Yi Qingtang's actions were completely to draw Yunshao sect's hatred towards Xianling sect. Yi Qingtang did not explain anything. Everything she did today was not to harm Xianling sect but to save it. Deep down, Yi Qingtang was aware that Yunshao sect would annihilate Xianling sect not long later, and it was no longer important whether she beat up Yunshao sect disciples as a Xianling sect disciple. What she needed to do now was to make Yunshao sect hate her to the core. If the plan to pretend to be a Blood Moon sect guardian failed and she was unable to use the Blood Moon sect as a balance against Yunshao sect, she could make use of Yunshao sect's profound hatred towards her to prevent Xianling sect from being wiped out. At this juncture, if she made Yunshao sect hate her utterly yet unable to find her in Xianling sect, Yunshao sect definitely would not act rashly. According to her understanding of the Yunshao sect, they would definitely trap everyone in Xianling sect and force her to show up. As such, Yi Qingtang would have time to strengthen herself and return to Xianling sect to rescue it. Yi Qingtang was aware that she was taking a huge gamble. With the hope of Xianling sect's survival. Wuxia World. Sight go! Yi Qingtang waved. A while later, Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon sect elder arrived near the mountain. This mountain was owned solely by Yunshao sect, and outsiders were not allowed to enter. There were many entrances to the mountain, and each entrance was guarded by two Yunshao sect disciples to prevent outsiders from entering. Whoever that is coming, Stop right now. Two Yunshao sect outer sect disciples outside an entrance to the mountain shouted at Yi Qingtang. Are you all Yunshao sect disciples? Yi Qingtang asked. No, SE. In the next second, Yi Qingtang repressed the two Yunshao sect disciples at the speed of lightning without giving them a chance to continue speaking. Tam Xianling sects Yi Qingtang. After leaving that sentence, Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon sect elder entered the mountain. In this half a day, Yi Qingtang severely injured over 10 outer sect disciples and 2 inner sect disciples from Yunshao sect. From the words of a Yunshao sect disciple, she even learned that there was actually a Yunshao sect elder in the mountain. Under Yi Qingtang's torture to extort a confession, the Yunshao sect disciple recounted that the Yunshao sect elder's personal disciple was injured in a mission, and because there was sufficient spirit energy in this mountain, the Yunshao sect elder brought his disciple here to recuperate at the fastest speed. After learning of the exact location, Yi Qingtang rushed there with the Blood Moon sect elder. Yi Qingtang, are you crazy? The Blood Moon sect elder paled. Forget that you beat those Yunshao sect disciples up, but you still want to provoke a Yunshao sect elder now. Do you know what cultivation realm those elders are at? Every Yunshao sect elder was at least at the 3rd heaven of martial qi level 3. Wanting to kill a powerful figure at that realm was technically no different from crushing an ant. You're scared? Yi Qingtang asked. I'm scared. The Blood Moon sect elder scoffed. Back then when my martial skills were at the peak, there was no difference between those so-called supposed sects and ants to me. Since that's the case, then cut the crap. Yi Qingtang headed forward quickly without bothering with the Blood Moon sect elder. Chapter 502 Stirring Things Up. 3. Helpless, the Blood Moon sect elder could only follow Yi Qingtang. About an hour later, Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon sect elder arrived near a valley. Hundreds of meters away, a male teen had a pale complexion and appeared extremely frail. Sitting in front of that teen was the Yunshao sect elder, Li Jiwu. A cold glint flashed across Yi Qingtang's eyes when she saw the injured teen. In her previous life, Li Jiwu was one of Yi Yu's trusted subordinates. After Nine Nights Dynasty was destructed, Li Jiwu followed Yi Yu into Falling Sky Valley and killed many of her senior and junior brothers and sisters. Then, Yi Qingtang took out the black sword from her space ring. This black sword belonged to Yunshao sect master's disciple, Yu Tianqing. After killing Yu Tianqing that day, this sword became her spoils of war. Apart from the black sword, Yi Qingtang also took out a talisman from her space ring. Array formation in a talisman? The Blood Moon sect elder looked askance at the talisman in Yi Qingtang's hand. From the level of this array formation in a talisman, it is at least from a Yunshao sect elder or sect master. However, it is so much lousier than mine. Wuxia World. Sight as though she could no longer tolerate the Blood Moon sect elder's nagging, she stretched a hand out towards the Blood Moon sect elder with an annoyed expression. What are you doing? The Blood Moon sect elder was confused. Give me your higher level array formation in a talisman, Yi Qingtang said. How would I have it? The Blood Moon sect elder shook his head. You don't have it? Yi Qingtang laughed in frustration towards the Blood Moon sect elder. You don't have it, yet you have been rattling away on and on? Yi Qingtang no longer bothered with him and combined the talisman and Yu Tianqing's black sword together. Right after, Yi Qingtang condensed all her primordial qi. Swoosh. A sharp sound pierced the air as the black sword was tossed towards Li Jiwu. At the same time, the Yunshao sect elder beside Li Jiwu opened his eyes suddenly. There was a cold glint in his eyes as he looked towards the black sword that was as fast as an arrow. Which impudent person is it? The Yunshao sect elder hollered furiously, and it was as though the air came toa still. Then, the Yunshao sect elder lifted his right arm and grabbed the black sword. However, the talisman on the sword suddenly burned on its own. In an instant, the black sword seemed to hide in the void, disappearing right before his eyes. The Yunshao sect elder's expression changed immediately, and he was in disbelief. Array formation in a talisman. This is the concealed breath spell? Apart from concealing one's breath, The supposed concealed breath spell could even allow one to achieve invisibility for a short time. Poof! Before the Yunshao sect elder could react, the black sword appeared once again, but it had already pierced through Li Jiwu's chest. Li Jiwu widened his eyes in disbelief as he looked at his chest in aghast. There was a crimson hole in his chest at the place where his heart was pierced through together. Ow! Large gushes of blood were spat out from Li Jiwu's mouth, dyeing the entire floor into a bright red. Jiwu! The Yunshao sect elder clutched onto Li Jiwu, grief-stricken. Li Jiwu was extremely talented in martial skills and had been the Yunshao sect elder's disciple since young when he cultivated beside him. Never had the Yunshao sect elder expected that. Li Jiwu's lips moved a little and parted, wanting to say something, but only blood surged out of his mouth. Eventually, Li Jiwu moved for a moment and died. Chapter 503 Stirring Things Up for Jiwu. The Yunshao sect elder looked at his most doted disciple and screamed at the sky. On the other hand, Yi Qingtang sneered coldly as she succeeded with one attack. In her previous life, Li Jiwu was Yi Yu's dog and committed countless atrocities. Slaying him one shot was really letting him off lightly. The Yunshao sect elder stood up swiftly and lifted his right arm to suck the black sword that pierced through Li Jiwu's heart into his palm. Everlasting Hatred Sword? Yunshao sect elder was slightly taken aback after inspecting the sword in his hand. He naturally recognized the Everlasting Hatred Sword. It belonged to Yunshao sect master's small disciple, Yu Tiancheng. Yu Tiancheng? The Yunshao sect elder's face darkened. The concealed breath curse previously clearly had the appearance of an array formation in a talisman, and the Yunshao sect master bestowed Yu Tiancheng with many array formations and talismans, including the concealed breath curse, when he headed out the other time. However, the Yunshao sect elder could not think of a reason as to why Yu Tiancheng would suddenly attack Li Jiwu. Although Yunshao sect inner sect disciples were not really on good terms, and it was not rare for disciples to assassinate those whom they had overly deep conflicts with, how audacious was it for Yu Tiancheng to kill his favorite disciple with the array formation in a talisman in front of him? The Yunshao sect elder disappeared from the spot immediately and turned into an aurora as he flew forward. Wuxia World. Sight sensing that the Yunshao sect elder's aura was closing in, the Blood Moon sect elder's expression changed subtly, and he looked at Yi Qingtang. This is not good. Let's flee quickly. However, Yi Qingtang stood rooted to the ground. No matter how fast they were, it was impossible for them to be faster than the Yunshao sect elder, and fleeing was simply useless. Sush. As the Blood Moon elder spoke, the Yunshao sect elder had already appeared in front of them. The Yunshao sect elder sized up Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon sect elder condescendingly. Earlier, he suspected that it was probably not Yu Tiancheng, and looking at the people right now, his suspicion was indeed right. Who are you all? How dare you assassinate my disciple? Why do you all have Yu Tiancheng's Everlasting Hatred Sword and array formation in a talisman? An infuriated bellow escaped the Yunshao sect elder's mouth. Immediately, a horrifying martial aura transformed into a typhoon, enshrouding Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon elder instantly. At that instant, the two people in the martial aura were like lone boats in the vast ocean. Facing the Yunshao sect elder who was at the third heaven of martial chi level 3, Yi Qingtang was not the slightest bit fearful as she scoffed. Yu Tiancheng? He is already a soul under my sword. The Everlasting Hatred Sword and array formation in a talisman are naturally my spoils of the battle. You killed Yu Tiancheng? The Yunshao sect elder found it hard to believe. Yu Tiancheng was a Yunshao sect inner sect disciple and was the sect master's disciple. How would he be killed by someone at martial chi level 2? You don't believe me? Yi Qingtang's lips curled up as she took out a space ring. Do you recognize this? Yu Tiancheng's space ring? The Yunshao sect elder's eyes flickered. Some time ago, Yu Tiancheng was sent to follow and assassinate Yixuan from Falling Sky Valley, and thus, the sect master bestowed him with numerous array formations and talismans. From then on, there was no more news of Yu Tiancheng. He never thought that Yu Tiancheng was already killed while his everlasting hatred sword and the array formation in talismans given by the sect master actually had a new owner. You have a death wish. The Yunshao sect elder roared in fury. A mere martial chi level 2 girl killed the sect master's small disciple and infiltrated into this mountain to kill his disciple, Li Jiwu, using the array formation in a talisman. Chapter 504 on oneself, 1. Old thing. Yi Qingtang had no fear at all as she made eye contact with the Yunshao sect elder. I am Xianling sect's Yi Qingtang. From now on, I will kill any of your Yunshao sect disciples that I see, regardless of the number. At that instant, the Blood Moon elder hid behind Yi Qingtang, and his face was rather pale. Who exactly gave her the courage to provoke a Yunshao sect elder like this? He was afraid that both he and the Yi Qingtang would die in the hands of this Yunshao sect elder today. Xianling sect. The Yunshao sect elder's face darkened. They already found out from Ning Luo that Xianling sect knew of Yunshao sect's secret, and Yunshao sect would use a random excuse to completely annihilate Xianling sect soon. However, what surprised the Yunshao sect elder was that there was actually a disciple at the third heaven of martial chi level 2 in Xianling sect. The Yunshao sect elder originally suspected that this girl was a disciple from the other super sects in Formidable Heavens dynasty, but it seemed that his guess was wrong. You are Yi Qingtang, the person who Yi Yu wants dead, said the Yunshao sect elder coldly as he recalled Yi Yu mentioning to kill Yi Qingtang when they talked about Xianling sect. Huh. A sinister laugh emerged in Yi Qingtang's eyes. Go back and tell Yi Yu that one day, I will find her and retrieve whatever that belonged to me from the start. Let her cherish this period of peace that is hard to come by. Young one, you must die today. The Yunshao sect elder shouted sternly. Read latest chapters at Wuxia World. Sight in an instant, the martial aura flooded the area, and it was as though the entire mountain was shaking from the imposing aura. The Yunshao sect elder slapped the air. This slap pierced the air, and its size turned into about dozens of meters large. His palm was like the giant tip of a mountain, screeching with a horrifying sound, wanting to kill both Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon sect elder together. Swoosh. Fearless, Yi Qingtang took out another talisman from her space ring. As the giant palm landed, the talisman held in between Yi Qingtang's fingers burned into ashes instantly. Boom! Chantings sounded in the air as though it was the singing of the ancient gods, causing one's heart to quiver. In the next second, a kingdom of God appeared and suppressed the Yunshao sect elder rapidly. Kingdom of God array formation? The Yunshao sect elder's expression changed when he noticed the situation. There was a Kingdom of God array formation sealed in the talisman that Yi Qingtang used this time, which was even more powerful than the one Yu Tiancheng used to trap Jishuan. Facing the repression of the Kingdom of God, the Yunshao sect elder could only halt his intent to murder and retreat backward. However, the Kingdom of God covered over 10 kilometers around, and the power of gods was hard to block, refusing to let the Yunshao sect elder off. Yi Qingtang looked at the Yunshao sect elder and uttered, Remember, old scoundrel. I am Xianling sect's Yi Qingtang and am also the person destined to annihilate your Yunshao sect. If you have the ability to, kill me in the cradle before that happens. Otherwise, when I've grown, I will definitely annihilate your entire Yunshao sect. Afterward, Yi Qingtang gave the Blood Moon elder a look, and both of them retreated, disappearing without a trace. A long time after Yi Qingtang left, an alarming rumble sounded in the mountain valley. The Kingdom of God array formation was broken by the Yunshao sect elder and vanished into thin air completely. At that instant, the Yunshao sect elder's face was extremely dark as he looked at the direction that Yi Qingtang left in as though he wanted to devour someone. Xianling sect. Yi Qingtang. Chapter 505 on oneself, 2. As a Yunshao sect elder, he was extremely respected. In this mountain today, a Xianling sect disciple actually slaughtered his disciple right before him. More than that, she spoke harshly about how she would annihilate Yunshao sect in the future and even used Yunshao sect master's array formation to repress him. It had been tens of years since the Yunshao sect elder experienced such humiliation. At that moment, Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Sect elder had already fled from the area near the mountain. Yi Qingtang, I was thinking about why you were so bold. So you already had preparations from the start. The Blood Moon Sect elder looked at Yi Qingtang with fear still lingering in his heart. If Yi Qingtang did not have the array formations and talismans, both of them would have died without a doubt. If one didn't have this life-saving item, how would I dare to provoke the Yunshao sect elder like that? Yi Qingtang shot the Blood Moon elder a look. He had been following beside her for so long, yet why was he still so stupid? How exactly did he become a Blood Moon elder 1,000 years ago? Ha! Yi Qingtang, I finally realized that you have a deep hatred towards Xianling sect. The Blood Moon elder smiled as he looked at Yi Qingtang. You killed the disciples of Yunshao sect's sect master and elder, used the array formations to repress the Yunshao sect elder, and even reported your background. This way, Xianling sect will definitely have to bear with Yunshao sect's rage. Yi Qingtang snickered coldly. Even if I don't do this, do you think that Yunshao sect would not annihilate Xianling sect? The Blood Moon elder shook his head. What you said makes sense as well. Yunshao sect knows that Xianling sect discovered their secret and definitely would not let anyone live. I'm only curious as to why you would take such a risk to provoke Yunshao sect and even reveal the secret that you killed the sect master's disciple without hesitation. Wuxia World. Sight, what was more outrageous was that Yi Qingtang even used the concealed breath spell to kill Li Jiwu in front of the Yunshao sect elder. Then Yi Qingtang's eyes flickered. If you are a senior executive in Yunshao sect and hate me to the bone yet can't find me in Xianling sect, what would you do? Me. The Blood Moon elder thought for a while and replied slowly. If I hate you to the bone, I would want to kill you immediately and would not be in a rush to wipe out Xianling sect. Would keep them in captive first to force you to show up. With the lives of everyone in Xianling sect in my hands, would Jay still be afraid that you won't come to rescue them? You're finally smart this time. Yi Qingtang smiled. The Blood Moon elder's expression changed as he looked at Yi Qingtang in disbelief. She was only 15 or 16. How was she this shrewd and able to devise such a scheme? Thinking about it carefully, Yi Qingtang did not want to accelerate the annihilation of Xianling sect. Doing this was to save Xianling sect. Yi Qingtang, didn't you plan to pretend as a Blood Moon guardian and use the Blood Moon sect's powers to fight off Yunshao sect? If that is the case, why do you still need to take a risk to provoke Yunshao sect? The Blood Moon elder asked. To be fully prepared. Yi Qingtang's eyes were cold as she continued. If I didn't do this, Xianling sect would definitely be annihilated once this plan fails. However, if I acted as I did today, even if the plan fails, at least Xianling sect still has a way out, and there's hope for survival. It was imperative for Yunshao sect to annihilate Xianling sect. As long as she was able to fight for a chance of survival for Xianling sect, she would even attract all of Yunshao sect's resentment on herself. The Blood Moon elder faced Yi Qingtang squarely for the first time. In order to protect Xianling sect, Yi Qingtang actually wanted to carry all of Yunshao sect's hatred by herself. Since the first time he met this girl before him, he already knew that she was not simple. Yet, he had never expected that she could go to this extent, which was truly unimaginable. Chapter 506 on Oneself, 3. Is she really only 15? Her thinking was so meticulous and extremely complex. Even those old people who have lived for 100 years might not match up to her. If she were a friend, she could provide an inexplicable sense of security, but if she is an enemy... At that thought, the Blood Moon elder was in deep thought. Should he quickly decide to continue to wait for a chance to kill her with one strike or to go? It's not safe to stay here for long. Yi Qingtang waved, bringing the Blood Moon elder away immediately. After Yi Qingtang's departure, Yunshao sect was extremely infuriated. A person who claimed to be Yi Qingtang, a Xianling sect disciple, injured more than 10 outer sect disciples and 2 inner sect disciples, while Yu Tiancheng, the disciple of the sect master who had been missing for many days, was killed by her. In the mountain, she assassinated an elder's disciple, Li Jiwu, before the elder using the array formation in a talisman that she obtained from Yu Tiancheng and even used the Kingdom of God array formation to repress the elder. Yi Qingteng. Within Yunshao sect, the corners of Ning Luo's lips curled after he heard the news. His deep eyes gazed at the sky as he mumbled. It really is getting more and more interesting. Grandfather's plan is being carried out slowly. This piece of land is changing ultimately. However, the appearance of Yi Qingtang is really unexpected. I hope you can live on. Yi Qingtang, you will still meet. In wrath, Yunshao sect sent a total of 15 disciples, 10 outer sect elite disciples, 4 inner sect disciples, and 1 inner sect elite disciple, on that day to go after Yi Qingtang and behead her to vent their anger. Wuxia world. Sight considering that Yi Qingtang might still have array formations and talismans, the Yunshao sect master bestowed the inner sect elite disciple a talisman. The great perishing curse was sealed in the talisman, and it would be difficult for Yi Qingtang to resist it even if she still had talismans. At the same time, the various large cities near Yunshao sect were completely sealed, stopping the entry and exit of everyone. Furthermore, they put up portraits of Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder and made a public announcement that if any cultivators not in a sect captured or killed them, they could head to Yunshao sect to receive a generous reward. The same night, Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder had already predicted that this would happen and thus did not remain there and headed straight to a Blood Moon sect division. In the most remote area of a mountain the next morning, Yi Qingtang suddenly opened her eyes as she looked behind her coldly. Someone is here, the Blood Moon Elder said, alarmed. 15 auras. 10 of them are at third heaven of martial chi level 2, and another 4 people are at the first heaven of martial chi level 3. The last person is at the peak of the first heaven of martial chi level 3. Yi Qingtang mumbled after feeling the auras. With such states of cultivation, these 15 people were definitely Yunshao sect disciples. Yi Qingtang had already guessed that Yunshao sect definitely would not let things go after sealing the cities but did not think that they would arrive so quickly. Evidently, her previous actions truly enraged Yunshao sect. And this was the effect that Yi Qingtang wanted. However, given Yi Qingtang's current skills, she could fight against the Yunshao sect inner sect elite disciple, but the remaining 4 inner sect disciples were also at the first heaven of martial chi level 3. If they attacked together as a group, there was completely no chance of winning for her. She could not count on the Blood Moon Elder presently. Not mentioning the Yunshao sect inner sect disciples, he might not even defeat those martial chi level 2 outer sect disciples. Level, Yi Qingtang disappeared instantly. Chapter 507 Hunt Down 1. Yi Qingtang did not use the feather formation technique as the Yunshao sect disciples chased tightly behind her. If she flew right now, she would be too large of a target, and it would be very difficult for her to escape once they targeted her. Thus, she chose to travel by feet. About an hour later, over 10 young males appeared from nowhere and blocked Yi Qingtang and the Blood Moon Elder. It is them. The leader was a girl in a loose white skirt, who scanned the portrait in her hand and compared it to Yi Qingtang. Ha! I didn't think that my luck would be so good. We were just trying our luck randomly but really met Yunshao sect's wanted person. The other young males looked at Yi Qingtang with burning eyes and guffawed loudly. Yunshao sect had already promised the family clans in the surrounding cities that whoever captured or killed Yi Qingtang could head to Yunshao sect to receive a generous reward. We are from the Zhou family clan of Du City. You offended Yunshao sect and better go to Yunshao sect with us obediently to receive your punishment. If you dare to resist, I'll behead you today. The girl in the lead declared with a sharp voice as she looked at Yi Qingtang. You have a death wish. A glint flickered in Yi Qingtang's eyes immediately. The situation evoked memories of her past life. She had been cornered into an endless hunt for her life for a whole 300 years and encountered such a circumstance like today's countless times, and she barely escaped alive every time. The severe injuries that she sustained were innumerable. How dare you resist? The female leader shouted angrily. I originally wanted to let you live, but since you don't know how to appreciate my kindness, don't blame us for being merciless. Afterward, The girl gave a look at the people surrounding her. Before these supposed family clan disciples from Du City could take any action, Yi Qingtang unsheathed the demonic blood sword with a sharp clang. The moment the demonic blood sword left its sheath, a demonic air emerged. Immediately right after, a blood-colored sword shadow shot across perpendicularly and crosswise. Those family clan disciples from Du City did not even know what happened, but their heads had already parted from their bodies. Wuxia World. Sight then, numerous skulls were uniformly slain and strewn in the air by the demonic blood sword. Large gushes of blood spouted out and dyed the ground crimson in an instant. What? The leading girl and the few remaining young males were dumbfounded by the scene. The lingering warmth of their comrades' blood still remained on their body. Quickly run. One of the males looked at Yi Qingtang as though she was a demon from hell. Astounded, terror filled his face. They initially thought that they were extremely lucky and could head to Yunxiao sect to receive their reward after capturing or killing her. Never had they expected that they actually provoked such a monster. She already slaughtered so many people just by unsheathing her sword. How were family clan disciples like them able to compete with this level of skill? Impossible! The female leader no longer acted as imposing as before. She staggered backward, and her voice quivered. Impossible! Yunxiao sect said that the person to catch is a Xianling sect disciple. How can a mere Xianling sect disciple have such scary skills? The female leader could brag that the people she brought today were not worse than disciples of ordinary sects and thus dared to block Yi Qingtang's path. However, she never would have thought that Yi Qingtang's skills were not those of ordinary sect disciples. Sush. Yi Qingtang did not say anything as the demonic blood sword landed. Boom! A blood-colored sword aura rushed into the sky like a fleeting shadow. The bodies of those young disciples were chopped into pieces instantly. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.